flip-flop here, but where's that hat from?
Parlay Philly, you mean?
Parlay Philly, yeah. Parlay_Philly on
Parlay.Philly, actually. He had to change it, remember?
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
He does.
I think we're going.
Do what you gotta do, buddy.
Yeah, go for it. If you need a bathroom or anything, too, just let me know anytime.
He can be on this show, too. He's funnier than I am.
Nice.
But a buddy of mine, Anthony, does sports apparel. And it's mostly like throwback style Philadelphia area sports. And he's
He's a treasure hunter.
a treasure hunter. Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah, and he that's his this is his like brand.
Oh, I like it. You
Yeah.
have to text me. If
Yeah,
he
I
sells
will.
it.
I will do. Remind me later. I will. Like he does like mostly Philly sports, but he also did a bunch of hats for the Masters, like the golf stuff. He also does like old wrestling stuff and a bunch of other cool stuff. Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah.
I just got into golfing.
He's good.
Actually, through Tommy.
He's
Yeah,
got,
dude, golf is great.
he's got great taste,
Golf
too.
with Tommy is great.
Yeah.
Tommy can talk you into anything.
Yes, I can.
That handsome.
Sorry.
This dude Tommy Loomis.
Oh,
dude,
sorry.
The most handsome motherfucker you'll ever see. I'm sorry.
Shout out Tommy.
The most handsome dude you'll ever meet in your entire life. Jesus, he can talk.
You can curse.
Guys,
in front of
I'm
him.
right here.
I don't care about golf. If Tommy Loomis was like, "Hey man, why don't you come play golf?" I'd be like,
Well, I got into golf again
you float
because
towards him.
my parents bought him a golf set, and then I was like, I might as well get
Yeah,
one
right.
too. But Tommy, I've only gone out with Tommy, and he's made it so fun.
Yeah.
Like no pressure, because then you realize everyone sucks at golf. Everyone gets a lucky shot every now and again.
But I've been golfing since middle school and I still suck.
I've only
Yeah.
ever done
Really?
driving
Wow.
range.
Same.
I'm awful. I'm awful at hitting the actual ball. Like I'll pull back and I would just whiff every time.
You remember my ex Jen with the big butt and strawberry blonde hair? She
Yeah,
was
Yeah.
she was a cart girl at a golf course for a long time.
Which one?
Dude, they're
Somewhere in like Chester County somewhere.
they're a sight for sore eyes, man. Because by like the fourth hole, when you're like struggling and you're just like, damn, like I got no business being out here.
and a pretty girl
Shows up on a cart full of hot dogs and beer.
She cleaned up
Yeah.
on that job, but she became like a scratch golfer just from playing
Yeah.
all the time.
There's actually
She taught me how to drive.
there's YouTube videos and it's strictly golfers hitting on cart girls. And it is some of the
That's the thing. I can't imagine what
It
they
is
go through.
so sad.
It is sad.
Yeah.
You think of like
Kind of like a strip club.
yes.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yes.
It really is.
Or even just like a random dude like a vacation dad at a Hooters. Mm-hmm. Think about that, but it's like times 5. Not times 10, it's not that bad. But it's still like
It's
like-
It's definitely amplified.
yeah, it's just like, you know,
Well,
Yeah, 'cause you
Go-
got
go-
like these mostly like old waspy white dudes.
They're going to the golf
Like-
course before the strip club.
On top
Yeah.
of that, you throw on customers always right mentality.
Oh, yeah,
Everyone
yeah.
knows.
100%.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And
those
then
poor girls constantly have to be like, and it's like, Jesus.
Like I'm friends with the president of this whatever the fuck
yeah. The
course.
girl's like, and she has to go home and just be like, the day I've had. Let me tell you about this.
No, they
freaks.
just drink heavily with the bar staff. Honestly.
I don't blame them. If you tell me like a cart girl became like an alcoholic, I'd be like, yeah, I see it.
She told me stories of like getting $100 bill tips just for like per drink.
That's the thing. You got to capitalize on that flirtatious behavior and do like fly just close enough to the sun to get those big money tips, but
Right.
like also not
When-
like,
when-
get sexually assaulted by
when
some
we
like
met-
80-year-old CEO.
off the books too. When we
Yeah.
met, I thought she was rich.
She just got that rich off a horny old dude.
She's just really good at
Dude,
that job.
I would go so over. I'd be like,
you don't
I
have
would
to be
purposely-
old to be horny and do like I
True.
see
Yeah,
young
I'm-
kids
I'm
doing
horny-
it too.
I'm horny now.
It's true.
Like,
But also, I like if I was her, I would purposely wear like the most low cut, small things.
Yeah,
ever.
uniform.
I'd be like, well, if I can get if an extra $50 if I wear this or whatever, I'm like, yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, it was polo shirt and mid.
I mean, yeah, most of them
mid-thigh,
will
khaki
do
shorts.
that.
That's my kink.
Mid thigh. Yeah.
Khaki.
yeah.
But I'm also
That's why I
at,
like Mitchell.
I'm also at the age now where like if
are
a
you calling me
pretty
khaki collar?
No, you always wear
Oh,
khakis.
oh.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen you.
That's why he's banned
I
from the
was like,
Docker
wait a
store.
second, am I khaki collar?
No, dude. Even in like the early aughts, this dude you would never see this guy in denim shorts.
Well,
It would never happen.
Well, who the fuck
not
who
fucking
wears
John
denim
Cena.
shorts?
I did then. I did. You
Did
know
you?
I did.
I'm just saying.
He did.
No,
I'm saying they're
fucking
they're
no
trash.
way.
There was an
You,
listen.
Paul Brown, that whole
Yeah,
Oh,
you and John
maybe,
Cena
but-
wore fucking
Oh,
shorts.
yeah.
There's an era.
yeah wrestling
like,
fans.
When
I was never a wrestling fan.
you remember when Title Fight really popped and everybody wore cut off khaki shorts,
Yeah.
5-panel hat, giant T-shirt, cut off khaki shorts. Might be the worst style era in all of hardcore.
I still
I
don't know what a
disagree.
5-panel
Right now,
hat
it's pretty
is.
bad.
You're fair. You might be right.
I think every era has been pretty bad.
I think every era has been exactly the same.
Every era has this shit that you need to like. You want to forget.
Dude, every
Right
era,
now, it's just kids with more money dressing worse. Where in our era, it was more like our parents weren't throwing money at us like the kids are these days. So we just kind of got what we could get. These kids now get more money from their parents or whatever they use after. I don't know, but they have more expensive clothes.
Now
that
we got
just
But
don't
yeah,
look good.
when
Now we got Klarna.
I
Yeah.
think
when you're left to deal with the little bit you got, you learn how to style shit better.
Yeah.
See,
true.
Like, I can go to Kohl's or Foreman Mills and
we steal
spend
khaki
what- or-
pants
yeah,
from
or steal.
Walmart.
Some of the
And
best
cut-
dressed
and
people
cut the
are
legs off.
People that have cheaper. For some
Yeah.
reason, my algorithms is a lot of that, like expensive
Yeah.
dressing versus thrift store, and it's always like the thrift store. I'm like, well, I never get that lucky when I go there anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're right.
found
People
always
always have a
sweat-stained
sense,
hockey
like a
jerseys.
sense.
It's
for
always
style.
Yeah,
crap.
when
Yeah.
I mean it's the mentality with any of it. Like you grow up with money, you don't learn how to fend for yourself when times are tough.
Yeah, because they don't even have to think about it. They just want it, and then it's there.
And like our parents came from a different era where it was like, oh, I want something. Okay, well, go get
Better
a
save up
job or
for it.
do. Where now, and I do this with him, so I'm not talking shit on anyone's
My parents put it into me too.
But when he's like, "Can I get something?" I'm like, "Sure, why not?" Because I kind of hated having
Yeah.
to do actually the right thing, like what my parents were.
Yeah.
They were trying to teach us a lesson.
But you're like,
Well,
I'm
it's
not
like
gonna do what my
how
mom
they
and dad
say
did.
like
Yeah.
the truth is somewhere in the middle. Like I'm sure there's a middle ground you can reach where you're like, I'm gonna give you some leeway. I'm also not gonna like spoil the shit out of you to
Yeah,
the point
well-
where you don't understand like mediation or
Yeah.
moderation.
Moderation, yeah.
yeah.
But
Well, the point is kids dress like shit at hardcore shows now too.
I honestly, this may
It's,
be a
it's pretty
weird,
bad.
maybe a weird take for a guy my age, but I don't think hardcore has really changed at all. I think what has changed is us within hardcore.
Well, I also don't think the majority of hardcore like fans that go to hardcore shows, I say majority, actually listen to hardcore anyway.
Well, I'm just saying this is like the stuff that we used to like when we first got into hardcore that we used to put up with. Now, as like guys in our 40s or you in your 30s are like, I don't have time for that anymore. That's silly. That's stupid.
Correct.
So you're kind of like, so it's not that that stuff's any more or less prevalent. It's just that you've lost your patience for it.
Yeah.
And you don't feel like dealing with stuff like who's friends with who or any kind of stupid like soap opera shit behind the scenes.
Because it's gay.
Yeah, you just don't care. So it's like, I don't think hardcore's really changed. It's kind of honestly too much the same. It's like you've lost your patience that you had as a 20 or a teenager.
Well, also,
Yeah, for sure.
These kids don't have to worry about what we worried about going
No.
to shows. Which I say in a good way. I know a lot of people say that, like older people, as like when they see
No.
the crowd killing and they're like, "Oh, that's corny," because like back in our day, we had to really fend off our, like
Yeah.
actual violence, and it's like,
No,
yeah,
that's
that's
a good
good
thing.
that these
That's a
kids,
good thing.
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
it was scary, like
It sucked. It
getting put
fucking
into
sucked.
situations where guns came out
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
but people had crowbars with
Yeah.
in the like for real because
Yeah.
they really had real anger issues
Yeah.
that they didn't like.
Or just like, we had the fight of like Nazis with like fucking bats. And we're like, did you really want the new generation to have to go through that? Because I was there. It sucked.
There
And
was-
I really hope that no one ever has.
There was a clip of Bayway at FYA this year where they threw out all those plastic swords. And
Yeah,
people
yeah.
were like making fun of it, and I'm like, dude, that to me that's awesome.
I think it's
Like,
fun.
you wanted to throw out real swords?
Right, like
Yeah, that's
you really want people because then that's how
depending on
you,
what festival they're at, sure.
there's a reason why hardcore and just the genre, not just hardcore, but like metal,
Yeah,
all that hit a decline was because people got sick of the violence. So I'd
Yeah.
rather plastic swords than like brass knuckles, guns, and
I'd
crowbar.
rather-
What do those things cops have? That
Batons.
everyone
Oh,
uses?
those batons.
Yeah, where you-
Collapsible batons.
blackjacks.
Yeah, the blackjack.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Blackjacks too.
I definitely partake.
Yeah,
We have, I'm not. I say that,
Yeah, I know.
but looking back, I'm like,
Nah,
what
man,
the hell
the
was
three of
that
us-
shit was
as,
about?
as
But
silly as the three of us got on our worst day, it was never
Yeah.
as bad as the shit that like
And-
made me go like, all right, like
But none of
that's
it,
fucked up.
And none of it we want to wish on the current generation. I don't want them to have to go through that. I don't want them to have to worry about like who's friends with who and who's not friends with who. I want them to be able to go to a show, enjoy the music, enjoy time with their friends, and have a good experience. I don't want them to go through all the other dumb shit we had to go through.
They're already-
Yes,
I
it
think
was a
that's
and for every
And
every
it
person
wasn't-
every person from that generation
real
that
quick,
complains,
it was a character builder for us.
Yeah.
Granted. But if you would have asked me back then, do you want to go through this or do you want to go this way where everything's a little more easier? Yeah. I want people to be nicer. So yeah.
I agree.
for everyone complaining about like how so many bands are terrible nowadays. Like, oh, I can't listen to this like arena hardcore shit or like whatever style hardcore is cool now. It's like you do realize because of that element of violence back in the day and who was who and who knew who, how much accepted terrible music there was on every show bill that you went to.
yeah.
Like
that stadium, what
There
did
were
you call
more-
it? Stadium
Stadium
hardcore.
hardcore.
yeah, like
Those bands started playing with our
Yeah.
bands, like legit. A lot of the August Burns Red and stuff, like
Oh, yeah,
played
yeah, yeah.
Franklinville.
That's
like,
why I have
their
no
backyards.
I
and
have no
stuff.
They-
beef.
they
I have no
played the
beef
cat-
with bands like that or bands who want to sound like bands like that.
They played
Because
the
I'd
cat-
rather go to a show where bands like that are playing than some fucking beatdown band that only knows open chords
But also-
because of like what the stitching on their fucking hat says.
But also those bands, they were like, this sucks. We want to play to more people where this doesn't happen. So they did that and they succeeded. Why are we hating that? Sure, the music might suck or it might
If the music
not,
isn't my
you know?
thing, like all I can
Whatever.
say is like this isn't
But-
for me. But like
You can't blame them for
I-
taking the path of I'm not gonna say least resistance, but worse resistance.
I went, on the internet, I was having bad opinions or whatever, but it was mostly just to like joke and have, because like the internet's not that serious to me.
Yeah.
But the point I'm saying is like, even like what you're saying, even if I don't like the band and I made a joke about it on the internet, like
Yeah.
it's still cool that they're doing their thing. And
Yeah.
if they get big off it, what the fuck
Cool.
do I care?
If you would have like told me like 20 years ago, hey, Dead and Buried can make it so you can actually make this like your income, I would have been fucking thrilled.
You never know.
I never thought it was coming, but if you would have told me
Well,
like, hey,
You never know.
you could have made rent.
Bands
or-
from our era are starting to come back. I mean, you might get offers across. Yeah, I don't know
not us,
much, but-
not us. We did get an offer recently, but
where it's like they fly you out and you don't have to pay for anything because
if somebody made that offer, I'd seriously consider it, just because I have like a nice trip away from here, just a weekend away. I'd be so happy.
dude, I felt like I was on a vacation on Saturday at that show just because I didn't know anybody.
I love that.
I'm like, this feels like an out of town show. I'm having the best time right
Those are
now because I don't
the-
got to worry
I
about
don't
it.
understand people that walk into like current hardcore metal shows or whatever, and they see these people these young kids just enjoying. Like, I don't get mad. I'm just like, I remember when I was that fucking excited and just happy about seeing crazy music for the first time, and just like it was awesome. And I was like, this rules. I'm like,
Do you really want
I
to
can't
be
get
the
mad.
angry old guy?
I can't.
Like, that's the person we made fun of for so long
Oh, like,
when we were
yeah.
younger.
I don't think they really exist now. I mean, they do, but I will say,
not to a
I
big
think a
extent.
lot of the things you're talking about are actually
They don't.
hidden. They're in the background to these younger kids. And
They
I
don't
think-
exist because it's guys like us. Like the second we start getting wound up about something, we're like, nah, like I don't deserve to get mad about that.
Yeah.
And like we have the ability to check ourselves, unlike previous generations of people who had just no qualms, just talking shit on anything that wasn't from their generation.
But I'm saying like the violent stuff gets stopped pretty quickly.
Yeah.
And kind of, all right, this is, if you have a problem, it's going over somewhere where you can't just see it
Yeah.
now. And I think that's great, where when we were growing, like, so it still exists, but it's like, all right, these younger kids don't have to deal with it. It's going somewhere else, so the venue doesn't get shut down. Like and I like that about it
I do too.
And I like that these kids don't have to see it, so they don't have, because a lot of it is like just suburban, upper middle class kids, which is fine.
Yeah.
But you don't want them to fall into like the Malibu's Most Wanted mindset of like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm gonna pretend I'm tough because I see actual tough people fighting.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Because
like,
I'm friends with them or whatever.
right?
I mean, like, we can call like it is what it is. Like we were all suburban. Like granted, it wasn't upper class, but we were all somewhat suburban. But
yeah.
also, it's
for
like
sure.
I kind of like kids nowadays where they see like this like real violent or just like gang mentality go on. They're just like, no, we're not into that. No, we're not going to do that.
Do you go on the Reddit, hardcore Reddit?
No, I don't.
I will not.
Yeah, I try to stay away
I
from
stay
that.
away from Reddit.
I stay away from Reddit
But-
in
No,
general.
no. What
But
you're
just like-
touching
but
at,
just
go
like-
on there. And it's funny to read. Just like
It's
Stuff on
awesome to
there.
see young kids that are just like, nah, we're not going to deal with that. When I was like, I wish I had the balls that you kids have now in the 90s, early 2000s, where I'd be like, yeah, I'm not going to fuck with this shit at all. It would have saved me so much, like, you know, just hard times, just like heartbreak, and just random, like, grief. I was like, it was all important to me when I was a teenager and a 20-year-old, even into my early 30s. I was just like, I could have avoided all this if I would have had the mindset of the kids nowadays. They're like, hey, we're not going to fuck with that. We don't care.
Yeah, that's
I was
just
like,
lame,
dude, like-
etc.
Granted, their music sucks now, but their mentality,
Pretty good.
I'm into it. I'm
Well,
into their
at least-
fucking mentality.
the kids are more talented than we were.
Oh, fuck yeah, they were.
I think they're just in the mindset of like when we were younger, we just tried. Not that we didn't have, we had influences obviously, but I think we were less. We were more trying to like, all right, we're gonna take this influence and kind of expand it. Where I think kids now they just hear something and they're like, oh, I love Turnstile, I love All Out War, and they do a really good job at whatever they're trying to sound like. But I would just love to see some of them take their talents that they really do have and like
Try something new.
just do your own thing.
Yeah.
Take those ideas and just
There-
push it a little further.
there's
What's that practice video that went viral? Like those young kids. They're like Jersey kids.
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
Was it Pool Scum?
Pools, yeah.
That's a
What
good
a cool
fucking
name.
That's a good fucking name.
Did you see that video, though?
They're
That's
like
a good
young.
name. No,
young.
I don't
The
know.
sing-
The
they-
singer's like 13.
Yeah, the singer's like
That's a good name.
fresh 13-year-old.
That's a good name.
Well, like a couple years ago, there was that like kind of thrashy band Hammerhead, and
Oh,
they
yeah,
were like
yeah.
10-year-olds.
Yeah.
Hammerheads.
It's eight.
Honestly, all of them good though. That's weird. So many good
They were
Hammerheads.
so good.
Every band-
Three-piece band.
If you want to name your band Hammerhead, you're guaranteed to be good. I
But
mean,
it's Hammer HEDD. That's how they stuck out.
Wait, what was the? Who
they
was
were
in
like
the old
literal
Hammerhead?
10-year-olds.
there was the
There's the AMRAP Hammerhead in like
Yeah.
the 90s.
yeah. That
There's
was great.
South Jersey Hammerhead, right?
There was the one with
There was
Rob,
the Delco Hammerhead with
Rob
Rob
Mack.
Mack.
Okay.
It was Rob Mack, Dean.
Who's on
and,
with Joe Nunn?
and then no,
That
Joe
was-
Nunn wasn't in it.
Okay.
It was
I
Chris
saw him.
Alwich.
Oh yeah, with Len.
Yeah.
And Len and the guy from Endwell. Mm-hmm. And honestly, all of them, great.
I played a show with a Hammerhead with Joe Nunn singing, and they were very good.
I was
No,
going to
it's
say,
not
I
Joe
thought,
Nunn, it
I
was
thought
Chris
Joe Nunn was in
Alwich.
Hammerhead.
No, it's Chris Alwich from Shadow Realm.
No, I saw him.
And,
I saw Joe
who's
Nunn
the front band?
singing.
Impossible. He was
No,
run out. He
I was
out
there.
of town by that time.
It was at a show at Championships. So not
He was
that
run
bad.
out of town by when I was still around. It was not Joe Nunn.
I'll find the pictures from the show. Then.
All right, fair enough. But
I do remember them though because they were good.
They're
I think
very
most
good.
of the bands Len was in were good.
they had a
Same
song
with
called
Chris.
Real Talk that was fucking bonkers. But when people when I first got into hardcore, this might just be a Delaware thing. The older guys, when I first got into hardcore, I got into it by myself. None of the older guys were nice. None of the older guys were welcoming. The scene was somewhat dead. Well, it is Delaware, but it's just like it wasn't. The fact that I stuck it out is nuts.
Damn, that's a great point.
So if it's like if a young kid getting into hardcore or punk rock or metal now doesn't have to go through that shit, I am all for it.
That's weird to hear because, like, I think, like, well, I don't know your experience in South Jersey, but mine, I feel like, was different. Like, Alex from Burnside and, like, those guys, they were so welcoming. They were, like, the guys in more, like, there was one warehouse in Pennsauken where a lot of the bands practiced at. And so David's Burning practiced there when we were at, like, when Nick was in the band and we were in high school. And that's how we met all those guys.
Nebraska?
Yeah.
Okay.
And, like, they were all so welcoming and, like, would try to... They would come into the practice... You remember Mortal Decay?
Yep.
Yeah.
They would come into the practices and just, like... It was, like, a... They were all really cool, and that's why I really liked it. I was like, this is pretty cool. And then you would go to the shows like Filament. You remember that
Filament, yeah.
Like Ashland Church and Blue Skies Fade. And, like, once you got to talk to them all, they were all really nice and, like... South Jersey, I guess, was different.
Well, the first couple hardcore shows I went to in high school were all like Philly hardcore shows, and I was like, "Oh, like this is how people are." Like,
I had to go to Philly because Delaware was somewhat dead.
Yeah, and
Delaware was dead when I started
didn't
coming
really
around.
get like a sense of belonging until the Hot Shots shows. Where I met you guys.
Yeah.
Because like the first couple shows I went to were just a couple of friends of mine from high school that like kind of liked the music and like agreed to go to a show with me. And then it wasn't until like I linked up with you guys a little later on, I was like, oh, like there's like actual like pockets of nice people that are like worth hanging out with and like getting friendly with.
I don't really,
and they're in good bands.
Like the
too.
bands I was going to see in Philly, I guess, were like Converge. Like when they played the Stylog.
Converge and Buried Alive.
Yeah. That was one of my
Morser.
Yeah, that was one of my first actual Philly shows. The rest of the hardcore shows, I guess, were all in New Jersey.
I don't know if it was Stylog or Kill Time at the point.
That was at the Buried Alive show was at the Stylog.
Yeah, that was Converge, Buried Alive, and Morser.
Morser, yeah.
Converge is the first band I drove far for.
I remember that show being so hot, like half the people were just like in their boxer shorts, just like stage diving.
I think it was one of the first shows with the drummer. I call him the new drummer, and he's been the
like
drummer
20
since.
plus years.
Like the big guy. He's one of
Nate
beaters all the time.
Is that his name, Nate?
Ben?
No, he's the bassist.
You're thinking of Ben Kohler.
Yeah, Ben.
Yeah.
That was one of his first
might be the
shows.
best drummer in hardcore.
Because the first drummer I saw them with was this dude Damon, who was like this big Guido'd out dude who always wore black wife beaters and had a ponytail.
Yeah, that summer, now that we're talking about it, was great, because that was the first summer I saw Poison the Well with 12 Tribes at the Stylog, too.
No, that was
Kill Time.
Oh, that was Kill Time.
I was there, too.
Wasn't that where the kid had a
two
seizure?
singers.
With,
I don't remember that.
They had to, like,
I'm
stop
surprised
from
I
all them
remember
to
this.
Ashes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a great show.
Did This Day Forward play that show? Because I think it was during their set that they had to stop.
No.
Because some kids started just, like, seizing out in the middle of their set.
I just remember because it was the first...
It wasn't This Day Forward.
Maybe it was the This Day Forward record release show.
I remember getting mad because from Bottom to Ashes, their drummer played face the drummer faced backwards,
so people could see what he was doing.
He did the Zayo.
I hated it.
He had the telemarketer mic.
No. I mean, like his drum kit was facing the wall.
Yeah, but he was the singer, not like the screamer of the band.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he wore the Juliana Theory microphone.
Was that the night some crackhead stole the cash box?
You're asking me. I really.
And Paul Brown chased him like a couple blocks away.
I just remember that was the
I feel
first
like that's
time I
happened
saw
a couple
Poison the
times.
Well, and I was like, they had the two singers at the time.
Yeah,
and I was like, this is fucking awesome.
This was definitely after.
And then like shortly, then I guess the next summer is when they came back around because it was
wasn't it the American Nightmare summer?
Yeah, where
somebody jacked the cash box. Yeah, they played the Kill Time like every other week,
and every show was fucking awesome.
Yeah, I mean, not to any objection of mine.
The New Angle.
New Angle.
They would let us like hang out in there.
And Ted's Pizza.
Oh, it was great. You get the.
We're like 17 at the oldest, and they're like, yeah, you can buy Hurricanes
for $15
3 for
or
$5.
The night that cash box got stolen was so funny because Paul Brown chase the guy that stole the cash box, right? And then he comes back maybe, I'd say 5-10 minutes later, and we're like, did you get him? And he's just like, he was fast.
See, now it's all,
He's the fastest kid alive.
now this is all coming together because I'm
so
like,
good.
actually, yeah. Before I went to
like
Philly
Paul.
shows, I went to Bethlehem. Is that what it is?
Yep.
Not
Ben
Bethlehem, Ben Salem.
Ben
'Cause that's-
Salem, yeah.
I
Oh,
actually
Uncle
met
Park.
like Bob Meadows and
Yes.
Rich Arnold, all of them before I started going. Because one of our
Arnold's a South
first,
Jersey guy, right?
no, he's up there.
Okay.
He's a Delco guy now. But that I met them because we played a show with A Life Once Lost and God Forbid up there when I was in high school.
At Polanka?
Yeah, no. This is before Polanco.
Lenape?
This is,
The middle school?
yes.
Yeah, Lenape
audience
middle
of
school.
probably there.
audience of one played. That's like
I was there, yeah.
Anthony did like a song with A Life Once Lost. I'm like, who is this guy? And the next thing you know, he's like one of the biggest
Yeah.
personalities in I guess
Ever?
yeah.
Yeah.
But that's because I'm trying to think how long it took me to go to Philly shows. So it was after all that.
Yeah, I learned
Luckily,
I learned real fast that Philly was like
different.
a little too different for me to like
I had to.
start off.
So it's,
I
it's
also
like
had
two
to.
clashes
I
of
have
two
to.
different worlds. We came,
I'm so glad,
regardless of
too.
like our lifestyle of growing up, whatever class we were in. You're definitely mixing like legit suburban kids with legit, like Philly hardcore at that time was legit city kids.
City kids.
Yeah.
Where
Yep.
now it's like you can live 20 minutes from Philly and you're Philly hardcore.
More.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, so I think that was just a clash of just like, two different types of personalities. Would that eventually, I feel like, got pretty good. I mean, I can't, for me, I can't. really
Again,
talk
something
for
else that
everyone
evolved for the better.
I don't know what it is,
I'm
like-
not mad at any of
Yeah.
that.
for you. But the reason I had to go to Philly is because Delaware had nothing really going on. We had
No, same. We would
had
have
a
like.
show like every 3 or 4 months if we were lucky.
I was gonna say the same thing.
and it
Maybe
was clutch.
maybe a hardcore show.
Yeah.
Maybe one every 6 months or more.
I mean,
So
there was
in
that
my
time.
era-
Philly.
I didn't really know much about Delaware until like there was that time where South Jersey was doing well. Philly was getting the big shows. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? South Jersey was getting like the almost big shows. You remember like Coheed and Cambria played that
That Medford
thing
VFW?
upstairs. Yeah, it was upstairs.
Yeah.
At the base.
Wow.
We were getting bands that were like just about to get really huge. But then Philly would get like the Converge, the Poison the Well, and then Delaware would have like the Grange and stuff
Well,
like that.
Delaware didn't really start getting good things. I mean, not to like.
Delaware got really good things for a minute.
Well,
I
Yeah,
know
there was
I know
that
you don't
Unearthed
you don't
was
agree with
awesome.
this.
But not
you
to
don't
ask
agree
my-
with this,
not
but
to-
Hold on. Too many people saying two different things. What?
Not to ask my own D, but Delaware in like late 90s, early 2000s didn't start getting good things until I started booking. And the reason is because when I would try to go book shows in Delaware, there wasn't any locals to really pull from. So I had to say, what's going on in southern Pennsylvania? What's going on in southern New Jersey? What's going on in northern Maryland? And you had to pull from there just to fill out your lineup. And that's honestly that's how I met Chris from your band. I mean, like, that's how I had to do things. And it's like, that's how Delaware had to. It sucks, but that's what it was. Delaware had maybe.
You booked shows in Jersey too, didn't you?
Yeah. Delaware, you had
Like
Dead and
a
Barry.
couple,
I
not
feel like
many.
I
maybe
crashed.
one other band.
Like I feel like David's Burning crashed one. Your
Um,
birthday
That wasn't my birthday. That was Ray's birthday.
was it?
Yeah.
Did you book
Anstey?
it though?
Yeah, but
okay.
you guys,
No,
who else
another
played?
Ray.
Somebody else played that. It was Pray for Rain, and then
God,
we were
I
just
love
like,
them.
it was Pray for Rain, and then like you guys were all like, we're gonna jump on and play like a couple songs, and I'm like, why do you think that's gonna be a problem? Like, we want that to happen.
Because I know it was a problem. We've done it before. I mean, that was what we did back then. Because no one was booking us until you came around. I guess. You and Bob Meadows were the only two people that were actually willing to book us.
Shout out Bob, dude. Bob Meadows fucking rules.
Yo, I'm
I
not
love
gonna
Bob.
tell the story because I know he gets a little. I know he gets bummed out about it, but
All right, yeah.
it was an opportunity to get to play with him, and that was really fucking cool.
we'll
We
say
played
that-
a show together, and it was awesome.
We'll save that for off pod, but Bob, yeah. Bob booked a lot of the really important Polanka shows.
Oh,
He booked some good kill time shows.
I don't care. I don't care what anyone has to say.
I
Those
love Bob.
Palenka shows are like
Yes.
They were
Yes.
like, when I think about our area, I always think about that time. It was like the Stylog Kill time and then the Palenka Park shows.
Yes.
Were like,
Well, Bob did a good run at like the Rotunda and the 40
yeah, the 40-40.
Yeah.
He also did Pie Lamb.
This was before that, when he was still like kind of. But then once Life Must Lost is a big deal, is when Pie Lamb, 40-40,
Pie
Rotunda
Lamb.
started coming in.
Yeah.
Bob,
Dude, there was great shows there.
a great
Fucking
kid.
Caliban
Yeah.
and that.
dude,
I was-
Bob's great. I love Bob.
Saw the Red
Yeah,
Chord there.
he is
Saw
great.
Caliban there. Saw a couple big bands play. Seven Angels, Seven Plagues
yeah.
played there in front
Was
of like.
Cal-
That
10
was the
Captain-
show I played.
Nice.
Was Cal the
Seven
Decapitation
Angels,
there?
Seven Plagues. And I always, like, at the time, I was just like, whatever, they're not my thing. And now looking back on it, I'm like, it's pretty fucking cool I got to play that show because, like, that wasn't my thing back then, but
Yeah.
now I'm like, that album is incredible.
So wait, was that a David's Burning show? That's right. You guys did play that show.
We played a lot of cool shows. We played the Page 99 show. Do you remember when Between the Buried and Me first came around?
Yes.
And they played Bare Feet?
yes.
Barefoot. It was
Such
like
a
a
fun
surprise
move.
show. It was
Yeah.
actually a crazy surprise show. It was like Bob hit us up that morning and was like, "Hey, I got this crazy show, Page 99, Majority Rules,
Damn.
and Between the Buried and Me. Can you guys play?" And I was like, "Oh,
Fuck yeah, we
you
are."
just said Page
Call-
99, of course." I didn't
Call
really.
everyone in your band. Whatever you're doing today,
Well,
you're not.
We loved Page 99.
Page
so
99
I didn't
is
even need
great.
to ask them. I
Yes.
just needed to tell them. But I didn't know who the other two bands
guys,
were.
Page
They were both
99,
incredible too. And then Between the Buried and Me, now like fucking playing the
Yeah.
Fillmore
Yeah.
and selling that shit
Or
out.
like we recorded a Patreon episode before this, but Black Dahlia Murder, they would play here like this area of northern Delaware.
They played the Grange.
Southern Pennsylvania,
Did they?
I was
South
there.
Jersey,
Awesome.
I was there.
constantly, and we all were just like, whatever. And now, or like even like 5 years later, we're just like, oh yeah, they're fucking huge.
Dude, I loved going to Grange shows.
Yeah, the Grange was on Earth. There was awesome.
We were banned.
One of your shows
you-
there was crazy with Little League.
Did you book the show?
Little League.
Did you book the God Forbid show that you guys played?
I think I was
Yeah.
there.
Because that's the show where I,
I
met you.
remember the flyer to that show.
No, it's not.
It's 100% the show that I met
Are you
at.
sure?
Positive.
I thought I met you at a skate park in South Jersey
Which skate park in South Jersey?
when 1 played.
What show is that?
What skate park in South Jersey was doing shows?
With One
How
for One
many
still around.
what skate parks in South Jersey weren't booking
Franklinville,
shows?
but One for One wasn't a band then.
The only Jersey venue that is a skate park I even know
Was
of
it
was
that
the
late
one in Brick.
life?
Dude, Franklinville
Yeah, that was-
VFW, like the reason I know One for One wasn't around then was because Shattered Realm was a band.
Oh yeah,
they played
that's
there.
a good point. Okay, maybe you're right. Fuck me, I'm an idiot.
No, you booked. I
Del Rado's maybe you're thinking
Yeah,
about.
Del Rado's.
Del Rado's riff, dude.
That was a great venue.
Upstairs and downstairs were so good.
And we ruined it all. We ruined
Yeah.
all. Now we're talking about all these cool venues, and I'm just like, now it's hard to find a venue, and I wonder why.
Yeah. It's called the early 2000s. Sorry, it's our fault. We apologize profusely.
That's why it's crazy when Bonks does shows, and they bring like some pretty heavy hitter type bands, and the people. And I always look at the flyers. I'm like, I can't believe that's going to be.
Well, their space,
There.
their space is pretty accommodating. It's like deceiving looking at it from the outside. You're like,
It's deceiving on the
I'm
inside,
saying like,
too.
no,
I'm
their
just
space,
saying
their
from
space
like.
is pretty big.
Yeah.
I'm saying from like they're gonna tear this place apart, and then it's like, oh, they did, and people were just really
and nothing happened.
respectful.
Yeah, it's
Like,
great.
I mean, there's shit. I had like, I don't think I had David's Burning on a show until I was booking in Pennsylvania.
I forgot that you even booked us on shows till today, and now I'm like, oh right.
It was Harry
I just
Cats.
always thought it was Bob.
No, it was Harry Cats.
Yeah,
Harry Cats was either me or Bakudo.
yeah. Well, the video show, that show was a crazy show. Shattered Realm, us.
That was that fest I did.
I
the
think
2-day
you
fest.
guys.
Obviously, yes.
No, it wasn't this 2-day fest. Are you talking about the one with Repercussion and
Yeah,
Crutch? Not that
and
one.
Freight Train.
Yeah, that was a
Crutch,
crazy
yeah,
lineup
yeah.
too.
Yeah. But like, I don't think I actually had you in Delaware, and I was booking strictly Delaware.
I only played Delaware once, and it was with the Vicious Embrace when they were a band.
Oh, okay.
And
yeah,
Descent-
The first time?
When Descent was a band. We played some cool ass garage. I thought they were gonna do more shows at.
Oh yeah, I went to that, but I didn't book
It
it.
was like a big garage, like a cool ass like.
Is this
could be a
It
cool
was.
venue.
It's the School of Rock.
No, it was Ethan. What's his name's house?
Yeah, it was someone's house. The parents
Oh.
were like letting everyone inside and like,
Hell yeah.
Oh,
giving
with
them
the fucking
food.
with
He
the
was
nose,
friends-
the kid with the nose.
He was friends with Bandit.
Ethan.
If that makes sense.
I know who he is. I just don't remember where the
Yeah.
house is.
It was like Farmtown, Delaware. Mm-hmm.
Smart.
It was like bordering Virginia, wasn't it?
No.
We're not. We don't.
Elkton?
We haven't broke into Maryland yet.
Home plate.
No, that's what I mean, Maryland.
It was home plate.
Yeah, that
Yes.
kid's name is Justin.
No, Ethan.
The kid who lived at home plate's name is
This
Justin.
kid was his kid Ethan's house. He's the kid who talked a bunch of shit on that Laid the Rest
Did you
band.
drink that whole thing? Well, whoever it was, thank you. That venue was cool.
Yeah.
And I had those kids' bands all got fucking awesome too.
Mm-hmm.
They're actually a great example of younger kids that have talent that took this sound and pushed it. Well, all
Bandit
these
too,
younger-
honestly.
Bandit, but I was talking about like Vicious Embrace.
Yeah.
Even with like Gridiron and like the newer bands they're doing.
Yeah. It's funny, like, to like watch all these like guys you knew when they were doing these really rinky dink stupid bands.
Dude.
And now
don't even
you're
get me
like-
started.
And now you look at the bands that they're doing, you're just like, Jesus Christ. Like I met Tyler when
Dude, his
Tyler's in
band-
half of them.
His
Tyler-
band is fucking
Xavier's
awesome.
in 2/3 of them.
well,
Yeah.
well Tyler, I met him pre Cut Short. And they're like
Oh, I forgot because he's in Gridiron too.
Yeah.
he plays drums.
and
he's an
Scarab,
insane
and
drummer.
he sings for
Yeah, always
Scarab.
I
has-
love
always has been.
Scarab.
Scarab
Love
is really
him.
Scarab.
good.
You know
Real
why?
fucking
Because I love fucking D-Beat, and they, without, and I feel like they do it on purpose, but they have that one song that opens up like a tragedy song with the dun 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 dun.
Yes.
It's the first song on their demo.
The
yeah.
second I heard
That
that,
was my
I like,
intro to them.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right,
I
I'm
was
gonna
like,
love this band.
These kids fucking get it, and then you hear his voice, and I'm like, fuck.
That was like my young bull back in the day, but it's like
That's what I want out of hardcore
Well, like-
today. That type of band,
Absolutely.
or it's either that or Haywire. Those two styles, and I'm like, yes.
yes, but yeah, like that whole genre, like they've gone so much further than we will, like the early Delaware guys will ever go.
Well,
I think just
Yeah.
the area, because then
I
like,
appreciate that, like
all those bands have done better than our.
I mean, that's what you hope for.
Look at like Jesus
you,
Piece.
yeah,
they're
you
fucking
hope that the
huge.
next
That's
like
not-
lineup after you is like takes it that step further.
We
And-
thought
you
we
want.
thought it was great when you played Hellfest. These kids are playing Hellfest Germany.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I mean? They're
Yeah.
playing like
It's on
huge.
the trail.
Oh, you're
ass,
playing like real Hellfest.
Right. Yeah, they're playing
Hellfest, Outbreak Fest, all of
fields
them.
like, and it's awesome because like you know these kids, and in my head I'm like, how could they do that? But then you watch videos and they're just like taking charge of the
Dog with a
stage.
bone.
Has he been drinking that all day?
Yes.
I had a shot.
Nice.
but it is nuts because it's like you were stoked to play to 100 people. Now these bands that were the generation under you
They're playing to
are
10,000.
playing like not even 10 times like what you're doing. They're playing to like 50 times the people you're doing you did back in the day, and you're just like, you can either have two choices. You can be extremely bitter about it, like, oh, why didn't my band da, da, da. Or you can be like, holy shit, hell yeah, Delaware on the map, and excited for them. And I choose to be excited for them. It's just like,
Well, at one point I was the jealous guy, and then I realized that's the
I was
reason.
too.
That type of
I was
mentality
too. Yeah, I was
is the
too.
reason that like you don't go anywhere else, because people can sense it even if you're not saying it openly.
Yeah,
You know what
yeah,
I mean?
yeah.
They can sense it, and then
Or you could just take solace in the fact that you were a part of all of that like was
Yeah.
probably played some small role in like their trajectory.
yes.
And
to get where they are.
Just simple fact, you just watching them just start from where you see them
Well-
to be. Like look, like Aaron and Tyler, watching them both sing to big crowds and just demand. They make it, both those two in particular make it seem like it's still a fucking VFW they're playing in front.
Yeah.
And I think it's really awesome to watch.
Tyler once told me, like, I might have been on this podcast actually. He was like, he was really excited. Like, his favorite Delaware band was Dead and Buried because it was all Delaware guys, and like, just like, okay, cool, that was your favorite Delaware band, and that might have got you influenced like to do more. I'm like, that's enough for me. That's enough for me. I'm not going to be fucking bitter, like, because I know me as a person, I couldn't have like done that. Like, I have too much other shit going on, and I never would have like been able to make time for that. So if Tyler's like, hey, I can tour the like other countries, if not the world, and do this, why wouldn't I be excited for him?
See, I'm jealous of these kids. Not in
Definitely jealous.
like a bad way,
No,
but because I want to. I want to play Europe. I want to do these.
Yeah.
We're starting to get like one of the bands is starting to get offers that I've never gone before, and it's pretty fucking cool.
Yeah.
But I'm like, so now I'm like, I guess it's possible in our old age to do that, but like it would be cool to just say, fuck it, I'm going to Europe for 2 weeks, and it's all paid for because of like whatever band what I mean? So I'm jealous in that way, and I'm jealous when I see these bands playing like Hellfest or like Outbreak Fest, and I'm like, this not in a bad way. It's just like, God damn, that's got to be such a cool fucking feeling. I mean, look at the band like Tsunami; they're getting stuff like that, and they're a legit.
Dude, they are for their
They
scene,
are a
dude.
hardcore band. They book every tour by themselves. They bring all the bands they want. They bring their friends' bands they like, bands that are older bands that they liked and grew up on, and then they take the money from these companies and they push it towards that. Them, Pain of Truth, like these. There are bands that are doing it in such a great way. Yeah, you're on camera, all up in his face.
This kid rules.
No, I just want to be in the camera.
Nice.
He's so real for that.
He's ready for it. He's a great kid.
Yeah, and I'll bet hard money that more bands in that position do that. They just don't flaunt it. They're not
No, they
like,
don't.
hey, look at us. Like we're such good people. Look at what we do. Like,
And those that like Tsunami doesn't flaunt it. You
No,
know?
and
You
that's
no,
the
I know
thing,
you're
like,
not saying. I'm just like
you'll every once in a
You
while
know,
you'll
you know.
just catch wind of a band doing that. And you'll be like, that's cool.
Like,
And I'll bet you more bands are doing that. You just don't know.
yeah, like Pain of Truth is opening up for the story so far, and then A Day to Remember in arenas, and then coming back and booking their own fucking shows and tours around the country as the headliner. That's crazy to me.
I can't
think that's
imagine
awesome.
what that makes.
It's also, I guess I got to look at it from this point of view. Like what you said that Pain and Truth is able to do is that like when we were younger.
You want me to put your chair over here?
Yeah.
I can do that.
I think it's awesome. I don't know if I necessarily want to see these bands on Jimmy Kimmel.
Yeah,
but if they're going to, I don't care either. That's awesome because it's marketing
I'm not
for
watching
them,
it either
promotion.
way.
Yeah.
I don't care.
And
What
it has nothing to
Either
do
way,
with
that's
them.
past my
It's kind of
bedtime.
like
I see
watching
the-
like
I see
bands
the-
on Saturday Night Live. It just doesn't sound good.
I see the posts on the internet and I'm like, good for them, and I move on.
Yeah, it's just like I don't care.
Again, the ceiling is just way higher than
Yeah.
it was for us, and that's cool.
Yeah, like I said,
There's
is
more
cool.
pros than cons.
Because
man.
I'll
I'm
tell
not-
you what, if David Sperling or Repercussion, when we were that age, could get these things, I would have said, "Fuck you guys, I'm doing this."
yeah, any band I've ever been, if you're like, look, this could be your job, I'd have been like, yes, sign me the hell up.
Oh, Delaware who?
Also, I got to give a shout out to those two bands, Tsunami and Pain of Truth, because they're showing the younger kids this is what you can reach this level, but still maintain it in a like DIY ethic, while also going
empty.
into the other.
Stop trying.
Yeah, you should.
Drink of water, for God's
it's like-
sake.
I don't like it musically, but I'm like, if that's like where like their work ethic, those two bands, hell yeah, dude.
Their intentions are in the best place because they're
Right.
taking, the handful of, I guess I don't want to say handouts because it's not like they're not. It's not like they're not earning it.
But they're taking what's
They're-
presented to
They're
them.
taking what net gains they're getting and they're paying it forward into like the right things that they should be.
It's like
And
how
it's
you said
fueling.
those stadium bands we were talking about earlier, like A Day to Remember and
Right.
stuff. Like, you can't take, whether you like these bands or not, you can never take away the fact that these bands started at the bottom and they worked their way up.
It's true.
And, that's why seeing a band like A Day to Remember, it might have taken them a while to do it, but it's cool to see them putting hardcore bands on their bill for an arena tour. That's pretty fucking sick.
And it's easy to talk shit when that offer was never on the table for you. Like, you never had that offer. You really can't say, like, if you were like in your 20s and broke, if that offer had dropped on your table, how you would have reacted.
I know how I would have reacted. I would have said yes.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, all four of us would.
I might have even changed the sound of my music to pander a little bit harder. So I got to give credit to some of these bands like Tsunami and Pain of Truth and bands of that caliber
For not doing that.
They stick
like-
to their sound and
Yeah.
they do it well. And like I said, you don't have to like it, but they are defining what we all grew up thinking DIY hardcore was,
Right,
and
they're
they
like-
made it like profitable for themselves.
Right. It's like, hey, do you want to be 3 of 4 and make $2,000 a night, or do you want to be 2 of 4 and make $8,000 a night? And they're like, nah, we're good. We're good with 3.
Honestly, though, if they did say nah, I'm like, okay, baller. But before we get further, Mike Morrow, our
Is here.
our fabulous co-host,
Hi.
has been holding us in because we've been trying to get Mitchell in here for a while, and Mike.
Yeah, sorry about that. My work schedule is crazy.
It is perfectly fine, and we love you,
I forgot about this.
and we love you.
Hey.
But Mike has had a story he's been wanting to tell, but he's been waiting
This
for.
is a story I know.
It's not an embarrassing story on your part.
I don't care if it was anyway.
Wait. Are we cool with it?
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's not like
He has a Mitchell-
it's not even like super R rated.
Yes.
It's actually like super
Even
funny.
if it was.
Yes.
And it's nothing that's gonna embarrass you because it doesn't even like firsthand involve you. You might know the story.
I wonder
and-
if they'll ever tell it.
Is it Mitchell's like really weird love of fleeces back?
No, this is the closest I ever got to getting scammed by somebody.
Oh, okay.
Do you know where I'm going? Okay.
I
So
don't think any of us do.
this was I remember the year because I remember where I was living at the time. And I remember this is around the holidays, I get a DM on Facebook from you.
I do remember. Yeah.
So I'm like, "Oh, what's up, Mitchell? Like we haven't talked in a while."
Yeah.
I'm like, "How you been? Like good to catch up. Like what's new?" And I remember you being like, "Yeah, man, like shit's kind of rough right now. Like it's getting close to the holidays. Like I'm overseas. Like I went on a trip to England and I'm stuck here." And I'm like, "Damn, man, that sucks. Like what can I do? Like can I help?" And you were like, "Yeah, man, can you like wire me some cash so I can get home?" And I'm like, yeah, like I'll PayPal you, like whatever you need, like, and then you were like, no, man, you got to Western Union me this money. I'm like, I haven't used Western Union
Doesn't
Ever?
even exist.
ever, like
Ever?
I'm
I
like,
do
dude,
remember.
I'm like, just send me your PayPal, like I'll send you a couple bucks, like it's the holidays right now, like money's a little tight, but like, yeah, you're fucking stuck, like I'll do whatever I got to do to help you out. And you were like, yeah, like go to Western Union and send me like this. It was like some ridiculous like couple $100. I'm like, nah, man, I don't know if I can afford that much. Like, let me like again, just send me your PayPal. Like I'll see if I can send you like a little bit of that. And you were like, no, you got to do it this way. And then like that was when like my spidey sense finally went off. I'm like,
Oh, this is Mitchell.
I'm like, I mean, it was your account. It was your Facebook account that I was friends with.
I do
Prince
remember
Mitchell.
this because
So I started hitting up
people that did
Yeah,
that.
I started hitting up a couple other people, like mutual friends. I'm like, hey, have you heard from Mitchell lately? Like, and then a mutual friend of ours, she was like, oh yeah, I just saw him last night at like whatever club you guys ran into each other. And I was like, oh, so he's not in England, like stranded? And she was like, what the fuck are you talking about? And I'm like, all right,
Who was
like,
that?
so what's that?
Who was that?
Candace.
Oh, okay.
She was like, oh yeah, I just saw Mitchell at like this bar last night. I'm like,
yeah.
okay. I'm like, all right, I'm just gonna ignore this person DMing me for the future. And then like a couple hours later, Mitchell DMs me again, like, so what's up with that money? I'm like,
Damn.
Hell yeah.
Being aggressive.
Yeah, and I'm just like, hate to break it to you, dude, but like, I know you ain't Mitchell, so you ain't getting shit.
Actually, we saw each other at Wegmans not too long after that.
We did.
Yeah.
So how was
I
England?
think we did talk about that.
We did see each other in person not too long after that. Not at Wegmans, but like we ran into each other. It was either at a show or at a bar or whatever, and I was like, "Hey man, just so you know, like somebody pretending to be you on Facebook, like you might have gotten hacked." Or maybe we messaged each other, like, or I texted you or something. And then the fake Mitchell DMs me again, like,
Fitchell.
Even after that?
yeah, like, hey man, I'm still stuck out here. Like, it's the holidays. Help a friend out. I'm like, hate to break it to you, man, but like, I talked to the real Mitchell. Like, I know you're bullshit. And the person DMs me like, no, that was the fake Mitchell. I'm the real one. In person.
Send me a picture, please.
No, I do. That was a.
So now it's just like blocked. I'll unblock it like later once like I talk to the real Mitchell and like he gets his fucking Facebook page figured out.
That was before like you could just go on your phone, I think, right, and just go on Facebook. I probably wasn't on it all the time either.
Probably not. Yeah, because it was on my laptop.
But
I
how
remember
funny
that.
is it that the
But I
dude-
remember, yeah, the
dude confronted
the
like,
person DMing
I saw.
No,
that was the
face
fake
to face,
Mitchell.
and he was like, nah.
I'm the real Mitchell.
Yeah,
I'm like, damn. I'm like,
What's he need?
He wants to say something.
Go ahead.
That fake Mitchell's like AI, and he's like, I'm the real Mitchell and stuff. Yeah. Like, does he
yeah,
know
dude.
he's just all the way in Africa? He's like,
Damn.
that was way before the AI
Classic-
craze. Like, he's just that
classic
humble.
Mitchell.
It's like,
He's like,
those-
that sounds like my dad.
Mitchell is always in Africa. Dude.
You know those memes of like a celebrity DMing somebody asking them for $500? It's like
Yo, but I will give the scammer credit because at
Oh my
that
God.
time,
They leaned into it
Yeah.
for like a couple days
at that
straight.
time, it probably was believable because I was an alcoholic and I didn't have the greatest job and I probably was poor at the time too. So he picked the right guy.
hey, this is Michael
Well-
Jackson. Send me $500.
He.
and it's 2025.
Yes.
He just died.
Yeah.
No,
Hey,
this was like 2009.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
How great it'd be though, they hit up the scammer and be like, hey, real Mitchell here. Can we split this? Because look, dude,
Make a second Facebook account.
Listen,
rent is due.
if the fake Mitchell broke me off with a PayPal link, I would have gotten scammed because I would have been like, "Oh, here you
that
go,
was
man."
Kind of you.
Sent his friends and family.
So I'm like, "Oh,
You're
Mitchell,
done.
he's trapped in Europe. Like
Yeah,
it's Christmas. I'm not gonna fuck the dude over.
how
I'll
funny-
send him like
That's
$50.
actually crazy because I totally forgot about that till you said that, and now all
That's
of it's
hilarious.
because like a few other people hit me up about that too. Like, are you in England? I'm like,
Wow.
How funny would that be? It was like,
I was just hanging out with you last night, dude. Like,
it's like,
come on.
Mitchell, I thought you were a Nigerian prince. Like, what's going on here?
Mitchell Adebisi.
I mean,
That's
they picked the right person to scam because I hadn't seen you in a while. So I was like, for all I knew, like Mitchell's wilding out in England and like got stuck out there. Like that
so
sucks.
Sounds
good.
like Mitchell.
That's how you know someone's a real friend. Like, yo, I'm just an African prince, and they're like, yo, I'll still give you money, dude. I got you, dude.
You live your true self, man.
You know, there's one person I think we'd all fall for. Marty.
True, Marty Shea.
Dude, I was just hanging out with Marty on Saturday. If he texted me today saying, "Yo, I'm stuck in England," I'd be like,
I'd send fake
checks out.
Marty $20.
Yeah, farty.
Dude, Marty. Dude, real Marty, I'm like, yeah, checks.
I'd give real Marty $20 for no reason.
Absolutely. I probably have.
These two guys I've known for, well, you probably for 20 something years at this point.
At least, yeah.
And him.
I was still in
around
high
the same
school when
time.
I
Yeah.
like first like
Wow.
linked up with you, Brian.
We've been in tour vans together.
Yeah.
Bad.
Sorry. I mean,
With two different bands.
Wait, tour buses?
No.
Oh.
No.
That would be
We
cool.
were not that good.
You paved the way for the tour
It was
bus
definitely
band.
very-
Much
it was
smaller.
definitely very-
If you were that,
Sometimes
like,
cars.
Yeah.
yo, touring cars sucks, dude.
Tour Corollas. Tour Sentras. Tour Civics.
Didn't we do a weekend together? But I feel like
Multiple.
Virginia and then Delaredo's. But there's something in between with Powerhouse,
Doritos.
right?
That
I
was,
wish it was Doritos.
Yeah. He
that
loves
was
Doritos.
yeah, that was Repercussion, Punishment, Dead and Buried.
And then some.
Delaware, Maryland,
Wasn't there some was it Erie?
Northern Virginia. No, we just went out for one show.
Where?
That we went out to Virginia. No, not Virginia. Erie, Pennsylvania.
Because it was the same bands, right?
Because Josh, shout out Josh Buck, hit me up. Was like, hey, we're gonna bring you out here. I was like, look, can we bring 2 bands with us? And he was like, absolutely. And then I was like, can we bring 3 bands with us? He said, sure, why not? And we brought you, Repercussion, Punishment, and Strike Back.
Oh right, yeah.
Yeah.
They were good too.
And we all just fucking hung out. And it was the show, like, honestly, like 30 people showed up, but we had a time.
It was in a movie theater.
Yeah. The Forward Hall in Erie, Pennsylvania.
Wow.
Punishment got pulled over by the cops and had guns pulled on them before they got there.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. I have pictures from that show.
Were you in a band back then?
First
No.
real band I was in was Bad Blood, and that was a few years.
This is
back.
pre-Bad
Oh
Blood.
well, yeah.
Yeah.
This is pre-Bad Blood.
Was that with
think-
Easton?
I think you were still pretty much new
Was
to
Ian.
Repercussion.
Yeah. Well, my first show was in Virginia.
Yeah. When Paul got chased out by the drummer from Powerhouse over a joke. We're
He's been ran out of a lot of venues.
Yeah,
I was like,
but the drummer from Power is a really nice guy. His name's Chris, and we're like, yo, this guy like blah blah blah, and he's like, I'm gonna fucking get him, and he like chased after Paul, just being a silly guy, and Paul ran out like his life depended on it, and it was just like, dude, he's kidding. What? Why are you? You're 3 blocks away. What are you doing?
that was a fun show. We played Seal of the Fist twice.
Yes, you
I
did.
remember that.
Yes, you did. We
There
made
was 15 people there, I think.
Can I
We're-
tell a story?
Please.
you absolutely,
He's like, these stories
Yeah.
are boring. Yeah.
Yeah.
absolutely can. Tell me a story.
So I was at my friend's house. It's the Super Bowl. Before I was at my friend's house, I'm like, we're cooked. It's the Chiefs.
True.
And then we're just smoking them, and it's not even fourth quarter, and then we're like, me and my friend are like, easy dub.
I
Patrick
Classic.
Mahomes just throwing interceptions. Bro, you throw into the air or something?
as a lifetime Philadelphia sports fan, I did not put my feet up or think I could relax until,
whole time.
until the fourth quarter actually like ticked away to 0 seconds. I'm like, I'm still not convinced that we're gonna win this game, just because I've grown up watching the Eagles, Flyers, Phillies, and Sixers. Like, I know this is too good to be true.
You remember the Super Bowl in 2008
So after you and your friends were saying easy dub,
when they
what
lost
happened?
when they lost by a field goal?
Wait, what are you talking about?
Eagles Patriots.
That was 05?
Was it that long
Yeah,
ago?
that was
It wasn't 08? Whatever.
05.
Same fucking difference.
Well, if T.O. had 2 legs, we would have won that game.
I mean, this year was crazy. It was good to watch.
Yeah, it was good to like watch a game that like wasn't a dogfight. Like, I was like, wow, we actually annihilated.
Shout out Michael Vick.
But I think they're
Not
canceled
shout
right
out
now.
Michael
Aren't the Eagles
He stinks.
canceled at the moment?
He said
Oh.
dog fight.
Talk to this guy. He was
Yeah,
watching
the
it when I was
Eagles been
picking him up.
canceled, right now?
Right now?
Yeah, Saquon
Oh yeah, I
or
was
stuff
watching
for,
that before I came.
for golfing with
when I
Trump?
came in, yeah, he rode in Air Force One, and he golfed with Trump. But I was talking when he picked me up for tonight, and Trump's having like the press conference at the White House, and the way he said Jalen Hurts was so funny. He was like Jalen Hurts, and he mushed every syllable together, and I was just like, "What are you doing?" And I found out that
Just trumping.
Gibberish.
Yeah,
that-
just jumping.
that Jalen Hurts was like the one, like, all right, for non-sports fans, Eagles won a Super Bowl. Super Bowl champions get invited to the White House. Last time the Eagles won a Super Bowl, they said no dice, but this time they said yes. But Jalen Hurts, who is the quarterback,
Yes.
Yes.
Very good.
said no, I'm not going. But the rest of the team went. So I watched this as I was waiting to get picked up by Mike, and Trump was like excited because
He was on full Trump mode.
him and he was talking about Saquon Barkley like they were the old college friends. It was nuts. He was like, "Hey, we picked him up in Air Force One, and we did the golf," and like they went through the whole thing, and like he was just having like these little like goofy inside jokes, and I was just like, okay, whatever, fine. But when he said, someone said, like, he had started announcing, like, players, he's like, and shoutouts. I was like, is that
You do a
Jalen?
good impression
Jabbing
of him.
Gertz.
I was
You do a
like,
good impression.
I
of
was
him.
like, is that Jalen? And, like, there was one other player. I said I didn't know who it was, but it was some guy.
Oh,
Like,
he's talking about Jordan Mailata.
he said this guy's last name.
He added.
It was maybe a 2-syllable last name. He added like 2 extra. He's like, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, what the hell? Like, why are you saying it like this? But apparently everybody's upset
It's just trumping.
because the last time they won the Super Bowl,
That's a good shirt.
the last time they won the Super Bowl, they were all like, no, we're not going. F this dude. We're not doing it.
No
But
one's
this-
mad at him.
Yeah, who cares?
Philly fans are Trump supporters anyway.
Yes.
Exactly. And
Yeah,
this
I
time
mean,
they're
I don't
kind
know
of
why
like,
people pretend they're not, but they are.
and this time around, apparently a lot of them are like, who cares?
And we're
gonna
stuck with
do
him
it.
for the foreseeable future.
Yeah.
I mean, he's not.
But I don't know why they're mad, but they're apparently everybody's mad at everybody but Jalen Hurts. But I watched that on the way before I left for here tonight, and it was pretty silly. They have like some security guard. The Phillies, not
FNAF.
the Phillies,
Big Dom.
Big Dom. He's a security guard for the Eagles, and apparently he's a huge Trump guy. And Trump's like, I met this guy, Big Dom. He's big. I was like, I see him. I want to walk behind him. I can't walk near him. He's so big. And like
he always does that. He says it
Yeah.
a few times, just to
Yeah.
like really.
And then he's like,
Oh, a giant, massive Italian from South Philly that wears Jeff caps and velour
3-year-old just
tracksuits
walked-
as a
he
Trump
showed up
guy.
at the White House wearing
That's
a flat-
crazy.
Wearing
This
a-
3-year-old just walks to the White House and he's like, Donald Duck.
He's wearing
Yeah.
a flat cap. And he's like, Dom, get up here. And Dom's just like, oh, just like, he's this huge, like,
Kid
Italian
in a candy
moob.
store, yeah.
Just like, and he's like, Dom, what do you got to say to you? He's like, thanks for having me. Go Birds.
Go.
And it was just,
Yeah,
It was so silly and
he
funny.
blew his moment. He blew his moment at the parade too, and they called him up on the steps to make a speech, and he was just like, I got nothing to say. I love you, Philly. Ugh.
Yeah.
Like,
So he's probably gonna be Trump's bodyguard soon. It
yeah,
sounds like.
he's getting a promotion.
That would be
He's
funny
vying
as
for a
shit.
promotion.
if you go from being like some mook for a Philadelphia sports team to being Secret
Secret Service.
I mean, it is a pretty good
It's-
promotion.
it is
so-
It also
follow-up.
sounds
Yeah.
pretty on par with what Trump's been doing lately. Anyway.
Yeah.
So,
But it was funny
He
as
just
like,
pick whatever random, severely underqualified person
They
to
were-
fill this government
He's
role.
definitely getting added to the group chat.
they were
if
pulled-
nothing else.
They pulled this guy up, this Big Dom guy. They pulled him up, and when they said, "Hey, come say words," a lot of people in the crowd were like, "Big Dom," like saying like funny stuff. And like he's like, "Are they saying Big Don?" and all this stuff. Like he was just like, it was just funny. Like and then, like when they would announce certain players, he would be like, they would have like they would just start chanting this person's name. He's like, what are they saying? What are they saying? What are they saying? And it was just
Are
funny
they saying
watching.
boo or boo earns?
But
Is it Big Dom or Big Don?
Big Dom.
he's the bodyguard.
Like a Dominic or
what a
whatever.
great room.
Dominator.
I walked in. I
The
said, "Wow."
Dominator. The Dominatrix.
That's his new name.
Yeah, but it was just funny. It's like because like honestly, and Trump himself didn't sound good. He sounded like he had just woken up or he was sick. But it was just like, this is just silly.
Or it's just old age.
Or both. They are sleepy.
Very valid point.
They do get sleepy that
do.
old. You have any questions for our guest?
I get
today?
sleepy now, and I'm only 40. How old am I?
Yes.
We
He
have.
doesn't even know how old he is.
I really don't.
Well, when you get older, you start losing your
See,
memory.
when you're born
Oh,
in
no.
when you're born in the 70s, but
Were you really?
yes,
What?
1979.
That's a relic right there.
Yeah.
1979.
He even
I feel like
remembered.
$1 million right now.
Yeah, dang.
Now,
Well,
if
how
you-
old are you?
I just turned 43.
You're older than me.
Yeah, I was 82.
How old are you?
I'm 42.
Oh,
What?
40 new.
So you're like 10 when I met you? Jesus
yeah,
Christ.
yeah.
How old is everybody here?
I am.
You're young, right?
I'm 33.
Yeah. Are you really?
I'm like near his age. I'm totally like 25 or
So
something.
you
There you
grew up.
go.
You grew up
I
with
believe-
the
I
younger
believe you
crop
do.
of like the kids that are like
I'm 4 or
in
5
all
and I'm
those hardcore
25.
bands, then, right?
True.
That we're talking about.
I was
Yeah.
4 or 5 when I was 25 too.
What?
I was
700
already
pounds though.
I was already around when they all started coming to shows when they
Oh,
were all
okay.
still in high school.
Jesus. I think I'm 45.
Let's go with that.
Yeah.
You're 40. You're about to be 46.
I'm eat.
Stop.
You're
This
45.
guy.
Stop.
Eat.
All right, they
You're
got
the oldest man in
questions.
the room, dude. I know it. We have 12 of the hardest questions. We ask these questions of every new guest. So Mitchell is, granted, I've known you for nearly 3 decades, but this is 12 of the hardest questions you'll ever be asked. This is gripping inquiries for Mitchell Fletcher. Number 1, despite being a total sweetie pie, why is your social media persona utterly unbearable?
I knew this was coming.
I had to get it
That's
out
on
of it.
purpose.
Is it?
The fucking internet, man.
What do you think?
It's a
All
rub.
right, back in the day,
I can be pretty unbearing in
Is this a
person.
work or
though.
a shoot?
no, that's not true. You are an absolute angel in person and super fun to be around.
Oh, you that?
But on the internet, something like, Mitch, come on, bro. What do you, like, your old Kanye takes were nuts.
What did I say about Kanye? Hey, listen,
Wait, wait,
Tom.
In his defense, this was 2010s Kanye.
Yeah, I don't support
Not
Kanye
now.
anymore.
Not now.
Why not?
Not now.
What did he do?
Benji, go for it.
Oh,
I see you eyeing it up. Just do it.
Anyone you
Wait, you're leaving him hanging.
Nice, dude. Hit it. Yeah,
That was actually perfect.
That was
he has,
really
he has
good.
carte blanche of the
I didn't
soundboard.
even
What did
know
I
you
say
guys-
about Kanye? Probably
don't-
being a genius, right?
Yeah.
Well,
I don't know what you
musically,
guys
I
were
meant
saying.
that.
I'm just like,
Also, people hate I hate Morrissey. I know people don't like that.
I mean, that's not an unpopular
They hate
opinion
that you
in this
hate
room.
him?
No.
Oh, good. Really?
You're not alone in that. A lot of
Good,
people
alright.
stuck
Yeah.
up for Morrissey no matter what horrible stuff he did.
I,
But Ben-
I'm very outspoken about that and brand new right now, and people fucking hate that.
I will. I
I do
will.
one more thing.
I'll follow you into battle for the fact that brand new stinks and always has.
You got something else? What do you got?
I was gonna do like,
That's this one.
yeah, that one.
Hit it.
You gotta hold it.
There you
Oh.
go. Hold
There
it.
you go.
And their music,
There you
I
go.
like some of their music, but overall,
There
I
you go.
never liked it.
clunker.
You like that one?
All right,
Bars.
next question.
Question number 2. This is more topical conversation. Cops. What's the big idea, guys?
I can't talk about this.
Wait, cops?
Cops. What's the big idea, Mike?
I don't know.
You're a cop.
Am I?
Narc. All right.
Hey,
Whoa.
Question number 3. Would you like to invest in my new company, Scuba Boots? The boots you go scuba diving in.
I hate this.
No.
All right,
But
fair enough.
scoops.
Yo, Benji.
I had so many follow-up questions when he first pitched this.
Let's
And?
go.
Both of us did.
I mean, they
Wait,
got
for
it.
the boots?
Yeah.
They're boots you go scuba diving
Do you
in.
do you have any questions about them? Just
No.
think of anything.
I asked if they're more like, are they like a Red Wing or
And I
are they
said
like
yes.
a cowboy boot?
Oh, okay.
and he said, no, they're boots you go scuba diving.
No, I said yes. They're more like Timberlands and Red Wings. But they're boots you go
Whoa, if
scuba
they're
diving in.
Timberland, like, I would invest.
All right, yeah. See?
Because you could sell
Chill.
But are they webbed? Like
Yeah.
like a flipper?
What
And
does
he-
web mean?
them. Oh, that's a good
What?
one. Are they?
They're-
Like a webbed foot? Like a frog's foot?
He's
Means
showing-
that they're like
Like,
connected.
or like a duck?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good
mermaid
question.
fingers.
That's actually a really good question before I invest.
I'm
Take
thinking
me
like
off. I'm
web.
not investing until that question.
Hey, fair enough, man.
He won't answer it.
Oh,
so.
then I'm not investing.
They're just boots you gotta go scuba diving in. Question number Easy.
I meant to do this one.
Oh, you that?
Question number 4. So did Gene Hackman kill his dog?
What?
Yo, that's a really crazy story.
That's a sad
Isn't
story.
It is a
It is
sad
really
story, and the
sad.
more you hear about it,
Reminding me
it's
of
crazy.
one of my classmates.
Wow.
You went to school with Gene Hackman?
No.
I would not.
Told
Your
you he
classmate
was-
killed his dog?
I told you he was
It's
ageless.
like, no, she was about to go down the stairs, and her dog
Killed her
just
dog.
trips on her foot, and then her dog just trips on her foot, and
Just
then she
punted
goes,
the dog.
and then he goes all the way down the stairs, and then they had to. I think she said that they had to let him or her
Damn,
down.
dude.
Oof.
Damn.
Cold as ice.
I would be. I
One
would-
foot
Yo.
with a dog
Why
defeat.
is he bringing these downer stories?
I don't know.
Started this one.
Yeah, you opened this clam, my friend.
Yo, that's actually a
We'll be right
crazy
back.
story. Have they figured anything out about that story?
So
No one
wasn't
knows.
his son like supposed to be his caretaker, and like he just didn't check in on him for
Here's
months?
what I get from it.
But then the wife.
the
they were
wife died first.
They died in different rooms, didn't
Here's
I
what
don't think either one of them were doing well. Though.
Here's what I get from it. The wife
Oh, right, 'cause
died.
she was still old, but she was like 30 years younger, but still old, right?
Still in a
She
bad
was still
way.
really sick.
She died first, and then since he had dementia and couldn't function without his wife, make sure he took the right medicines, ate food, or do that. As soon as she died, he couldn't keep.
He was
going.
rudderless.
So he eventually died of basically starvation.
Neglect, yeah. It was
Oh,
just like
okay.
there was nobody there to.
Here's the thing: like when she died, he didn't know to let the dog out of the crate. So the dog didn't eat, walk, or anything like that.
For
so
a week and a half.
Once
Well-
she died, it all was like a house of cards.
Which was kind of, weren't they saying that was? This sounds crazy, but wasn't it better the dog wasn't out because then the dog would start eating the bodies? Or something?
No,
Yes.
I would rather my dog eat me if I was dead.
I feel like we should stop talking about this. We're right.
Yeah.
You guys you're right next to an 8-year-old kid talking violence.
From the mouths of babes.
This dude's spitting. He's right. Question number 5: Is your mother currently pregnant?
Who's?
Mine, I guess, no?
How could she be pregnant? I don't get this.
Okay. All right.
Don't indulge that one.
Okay.
Question number 6: Who do you main in Fortnite?
I've never played.
Who do you
Fortnite.
what?
Who do you main? Who's your main person you play as in Fortnite? You go ahead. You
That's a
take it.
question.
You wanna
for him.
steal?
I've never played.
I don't really play Fortnite anymore because both of my Nintendo Switches are at my mom's house. I think, right?
Yeah, but who did you play as?
Ari, no. Who?
Never mind.
Or what?
Who did you play as when you played Fortnite? Who's your character?
Kind of a default character or something. Just keep
Okay.
switching every day.
The answer I was looking for was Raptor, but I'll take what you got because I like that.
What's
Question number
Raptor?
7. What are you, an asshole? He's Raptor. Question number 7. Who do you think Gene Hackman mained as in Fortnite?
Why are we talking about Fortnite now?
Hey, I do what I want, all right? When you get 45 years old, you can do cool things.
Really?
Who do you think Gene Hackman played in Fortnite? Benji.
Who's
Raptor.
that?
Raptor?
Who's that?
Incorrect. He played a Sandstorm. All right. Question number 8. More deplorable human.
Sandstorm.
Joseph Stalin, Jeffrey Epstein, Jenny Gump.
Ooh, that's tough. Mm-hmm. That's a good one. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to answer that one. I would say Jenny Gump.
That's the 100% the correct answer. That horrible, horrible person.
I always went back and forth who was the worst person, Jenny or Ginger.
Yeah.
Ginger from
Casino.
Ginger.
Jenny.
Jenny really put that man through a lot.
I would
But what about what she went through, huh?
I always lean towards Jenny too because like Ace Rothstein knew what he was getting into.
Yeah.
Like Ginger made no qualms about the type of person she was. Jenny Gump took advantage of a mentally
Who she knew.
Over the course of decades.
like she slow rolled that dude for many years and knew he was slow and took advantage of him for pretty much the whole way.
I have one question.
You see, average is right about here. your son?
Question.
What's your
for
question?
all of you guys?
Okay.
Messi or Ronaldo?
Yes.
Messi, because I'm a messy person. And I don't know who
I like
Ronaldo
both.
is.
I respect both.
Yeah, I'll
this
go
soccer?
Ronaldo.
Is this full soccer?
Soccer.
Football, Dennis.
I'm gonna go Pele.
Football.
I had a Pele poster on my wall until I was about 8 years
Pele.
old.
Get Marty on speakerphone. He needs to vote.
No, he doesn't
What?
believe in speakerphone.
I think he would go with Messi.
Yeah, Marty would
Yeah.
be a messy guy.
Probably. Or like Triple H. Question number 9.
Isn't that a battery?
Yes.
Yes.
Technically, you're right. But number 9, isn't it nice to know that Gene Hackman lived long enough to see Jimmy Carter die? And wait,
should close
isn't it
my
nice that
ears.
Gene Hackman lived long enough to see Jimmy Carter die and have a Brett Summer?
Oh, wow. Yo, how do you think of these things,
I'm
man?
glad I
Did you
covered my
Google these
ears.
questions like that?
Whoa,
That's
whoa.
crazy.
You've
Whoa,
known me long enough to know the answer.
I mean, that
we'll
is
ask
kind
the
of wild.
questions.
I mean, yeah. He's like, yeah, sure, he died and it's sad and whatever, but it's like, He did
get to see Brat Summer, and I think that's pretty important.
And Jamie Carter had a Brad Summers.
It's a good note to go out on.
Yeah.
That's a great record.
So is that Charlie whatever girl?
XCX.
Like,
Yeah.
CX.
no matter what you did in life, girl, you made Jimmy Carter have a Brad Summer, and that's
that's
something.
crazy.
We're
That's nuts.
boys.
That's exactly. He nailed it, dude. Question number 10, moving right along. Should the phrase hubba hubba make a comeback?
Yes.
I 100% agree.
You a hubbard percent agree?
Yeah, where's
That
the one
remind-
for that?
That's the reason before.
Hey.
Wait, what was that one?
Yeah, what was that one?
That was the mud vein.
We need that again. That was fire.
Go. Oh, he said it was fire. Hit it again, dude. You heard?
He has carte blanche of the soundboard.
I think
Do
it's
whatever
this
he
one.
likes.
Top middle.
one.
Top
This
middle.
Hey. You only gonna sing or something?
Question number 11. I know fucking Mitch will be all over this one. How wild is the snare sound on Belle Biv DeVoe's song Poison?
Oh my god. Great.
He's 100%
That
right.
song stinks.
Yeah, but how hard would that fucking snare sound be on, like, I don't know, any modern hardcore record?
It would.
Yo, I didn't realize until we just recorded 2 new songs, Blackest Dawn did, and it wasn't until now did I realize how important.
You didn't get to promote your band.
yeah,
You're like 2 hours in.
We'll get to it.
No
how
promoting
people
bands no more.
really care about snare sounds.
Oh,
yeah, it's like
It's
the
been-
most important
You
part
want to
of
know
drum
the one
sound.
Al reference? Well, you know Al. Do you know Al?
Yeah, I know Al.
Maybe?
He played drums in Shattered Realm.
Yeah.
Oh, oh, never mind.
Al Weissman.
Yo, his reference, and it's incredible, is Spin Doctors.
Wait, Dad.
Pocket
Dad.
full of kryptonite.
No, not Spin Doctors. That Little Miss.
That's
Little Miss
Doctors.
Can't Be Wrong.
Yeah, that one. Yeah.
That's on Pocket full of
Yeah,
kryptonite.
Oh, is it? Okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
That was the album.
That's a good.
That's yo, but
good
then
shit.
He's thinking of two princes.
He actually nailed
that-
the sound, and I was like, that does sound great in a hardcore
It
band.
does.
Dad, did I get what that guy's name that saw my reciter or something? That famous.
Yes.
We'll talk
Saw
about
your
that
side.
later.
Okay, yeah.
We'll talk about that.
Al's a good
Did I get
dude.
it?
Jay Weinberg.
Did I get it?
Oh, the dads in the East Street Band. Finally, last question. Question number 12. Finishes Earth Crisis lyric.
Ooh,
I would walk 500 miles, and I would walk.
Firestorm.
Correct. Perfect score.
Exactly.
Hit it, dude.
There it is.
Now,
yeah.
Wait, what did it say? What did it say?
Did you ever Bumbleclot?
I'll explain it to you when you're older.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm already old.
Fair.
Not as old as
years,
Dennis.
2 more years and I owe you. But
Sure.
All right.
I gotta ask.
2 more years for like 2 more
Speaking
decades.
of Mitchell and Blackest Dawn,
Got him.
Yeah. What
how
can we
did you get Al Weissman and Alex Keller out of retirement?
Well, Al's been playing drums in bands with Chris pretty much this whole time.
Did you do Suffer the Living as well?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
How did you get little Alex Keller and I?
When they got back, when they did this, I wasn't part of the band. It was, but I know Chris, Al, and Alex were practicing together for a while. I think they just wanted to get back to writing stuff together and make nothing of it. Really, just have fun. I think that's what it was.
Because
honestly.
the first time it was actually Denbury's second show. Chris, Alex, and Al were Shadow Realm with another Chris was singing, but around that time, Alex Keller and I were doing. Alex did a zine called Deathcore,
Yeah.
and this was pre when Deathcore was a genre, and I used to do reviews for his. It was a print zine. I used to do reviews for him, so he and I used to trade tapes and stuff like that. And honestly, post Shadow Realm, he didn't really play.
I don't think so either. I don't really know the story of how they got back to playing together. I think they just
You never
wanted to
well,
start writing together again, and then
If they stay- if you stay
came in
friends,
later. Yeah.
I mean, they wrote.
Because Al and Chris were doing Suffer the Living for a little while, and then Chris was doing some other things, and then
Chris has been active pretty much nonstop.
I wish I had a good answer for you. I should ask them,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, Chris has been pretty much nonstop since Shadow Realm started. He's been constantly doing something.
also shout out to Suffer the Living. That band's fucking awesome.
Yeah, I like most of Chris's output
Yeah.
musically. and I am a huge fan of Chris personally. I mean, yeah, he was a bit of a hothead when we were younger, but now, like, old Chris rules.
All of them
They
are
rule.
awesome.
They're great, and I'm extremely excited that you're doing a band with those guys because it's like now, like when we're older, when like everybody's kind of reached their final form musically, like it just makes sense. You know what I mean?
Yo, and I will say, this new stuff we're doing sounds like the best version of what those three are known for. You know what I mean? Like, well, I shouldn't say best, but you know what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah.
it's exactly what you would want to hear from those guys.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
ASMR.
Yeah.
What do you got? It's spilling everywhere. Good lord.
Yeah, you're so messy.
Good lord.
He's messy too.
Yeah. I see what you did there.
I see a YouTube video.
Oh, yeah?
They're trying to make a salad.
And
It
what
goes
happened?
all over their kitchen.
Damn, classic salad.
I'll let you, because Alex brought up,
classic
I
salad
did bring
at
up
the
that
restaurant.
zine the other week. That's interesting.
Did he?
Yeah.
What do you
I'm gonna
say?
keep this.
He was just talking about how he used to do that back in the day and called it we were talking about deathcore.
Yeah.
And then he brought up the whole how he did that before it was called deathcore.
He like the bands he would get to do interviews are like huge now in like the brutal death metal like gore scene. They're like huge. So like as a young kid, he was getting these great like bands to do it, and like back then I wasn't really super into death metal, and he honestly a lot of death metal bands that I really got into was because of Alex.
Yeah, he knows his shit, man.
Yeah, and like he would constantly give me tapes. Like it would be like a normal like a 90-minute max out tape, but it would have like 10 demos on it, and it was nuts. And yeah, it was.
I mean, you
awesome.
could hear it. I mean, I don't know how they think of it, but for me personally, I think I hear the death metal in Shattered Realm.
Oh yeah,
Like
Oh,
the
yeah,
riffs are
that
like
was-
straight up death metal riffs.
Yeah.
And then they just Al does what he does with his drums, and then
Yeah.
it just makes it sound like what they do,
yeah.
But
So,
it's great.
are these two new songs like a promo you guys are releasing, or is it going to be for like a split?
No, yeah, it's just more of a promo,
Okay,
just
cool.
dropping. We wrote
And
2
you're-
songs in one day, and they were like awesome. Because today you always got, you feel like you
Thirsty.
just got to always put stuff out.
Yeah.
You don't
Or,
be able to
or you
forget
just
about
like,
it.
yeah, you put
Oh,
something
that's
out, people love it, and then 2 weeks later, it's just not.
They're on to the next thing.
Right.
It's not that
They
they're
forgot
bored
about
of you. It's just
Oh,
that
wait.
so much content gets put out.
And you look at
Constantly.
bands like Bayway who have like Jay's been doing music forever, and you notice that they put out music all the time, and that's they're just always in some like always being played, and you notice that's how you stay you stay relevant, even if it, no matter what level you want it to be. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so that's the game you got to play now.
It is weird. Like now, like if you don't have something out like
Don't
every
let that
6
open.
months,
People think you broke up.
You-
bro.
you're
What's
done.
going on with your band? And it's like
yeah.
we're
it's like-
practicing.
Been there.
Can you help me open
Yeah.
this?
Whereas like back then, it was like yeah, like you had 4 years between release, and it was just normal. Now it's like, did they break up? I'm like, oh, I'm sorry.
The world moves fast.
It's true. But yeah. What is
Oh, it is a promo. I should check for Hellfest, July 4th and 5th.
Are you doing that?
Yeah.
The Hellfire or whatever it's called?
Mhm.
Nice, dude.
Firefest?
No, Hellfire. There's a label.
We're talking about bands.
A Fira.
Oh.
A Fira
This is
a Fira Records. But they hooked up with Josh Grable from
Trustkill.
Trustkill, and they kind of, it's not Hellfest, but it's kind of like, it is like the spiritual successor to Hellfest, and it's kind of like that whole vibe of what Hellfest was, and just like a new fest.
And that other label is like a bunch of young kids, and you'll love this, dude. They have a band called Rizel Got Wings that is directly influenced by Long Winter.
I was going to say, is that, I'm
How
assuming that's what they
crazy
got
is
it
that?
from?
They're kids from up north. They're not even from around here.
Yeah,
That's
nuts.
the weird part. They're like referencing bands that were like, you found out about them in like Connecticut.
I had, yeah, dude. I I had to ask. I was like, because one, we know the girl that song was written
Yeah,
about.
yeah.
And two, I was like, that's such a weird, like, very unique name. And they were like, oh, absolutely, we love a Long Winter. I was like, that's crazy.
That's super
One of
nuts.
the bands they had from that fest was this band that wasn't even big when that whole metalcore thing first popped off was Invocation of Nahek.
Oh yeah, people love them, right?
And I'm like, they were kind of like D-list back then, and now everybody's like excited for their reunion. I'm like, okay.
These young kids, like how
Yeah.
we would have to go through thank you list, and a lot of old people go, "You back in our day, we did that," and that's how you found out. But these kids are going through YouTube wormholes. They're going through Spotify wormholes. They're doing the same thing we did. Just I'm not even gonna say it's easier. It's just a different way of doing it, and that's how bands like that are.
Nothing bummed me out harder though than like reading a thank you list and finding a cool name, and then like blowing all my money for the week on that CD or that record, and it fucking stunk.
Yo, how about when Stained thanked Shadows Fall? That's how I found out about Shadows Fall.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah, in high school. Yeah. They're like
Talk
big...
about snare drum sound.
Well, the Deftones were how I found out about Strife.
Oh, right, yeah.
Really?
That's actually, I think a lot of kids, like in my high school, that's how they found hardcore.
Between the Buried and Me is how I found Prayer for Cleansing.
What does that red button do?
Who is?
Want to find out?
Yeah.
Hit it.
Okay.
Hit it.
Oh, it's dead.
Is
You
it?
sure? You gotta lean, maybe.
Oh,
Uh,
There you go.
it's not.
Go ahead and hit it again. There you go.
Done.
But
Wait till he sees the modeling of the fart.
Wait, what? Where?
That's the finale.
After.
that's the
Oh.
finale.
That's the finale, all right.
That's a good one.
That's
He'll
what
love
that's what
that,
we'll end the
dude.
episode
He'll
on.
love that.
Exactly.
Nailed it,
Exactly.
dude.
Bars.
Speaking of that, you
Now
want-
you're gonna like like next Christmas like I want
In bars.
I want a soundboard.
He's, yeah.
I want the soundboard. I actually do
He's
want
got-
a soundboard.
Who doesn't?
I just want my own gaming setup. I'd just be like
just sit there with headphones in,
playing.
just entertaining
I'd just be
himself.
playing Rivals on Roblox. I'd be like,
What, you play Marvel Rivals?
no, on Roblox.
Oh,
Rivals.
robot. Okay.
He's not much of a Marvel guy yet. I
Yes.
just got into Marvel.
As soon as he's in,
I'm
I will
really
bend his
Marvel.
ear. I will bend his ear.
Oh my gosh! You talking to me or not?
Language.
You talking to
Hey,
All right.
Hey.
all
Kids over
right,
here
all
cussing.
right.
me? Is he talking to me?
Benji, you might have to go sit back down.
Nah, Benji's fine.
yo,
Poor
speak-
guys, I had to bail on him twice, and then I bring this guy around.
Yeah, dude, he's a ham. I'll bring him on without you.
Oh, that
Yo,
would be
can
a
you
good
drive?
one.
Can you
What?
drive?
I mean, I could drive a go kart.
Counts.
Can you drive a go kart from Pennsylvania to Delaware?
Oh heck no!
I think you
man.
could, dude. I think
I
you're
think you
selling
could. I
yourself.
think you're
But
gonna.
the top
I
speed
think
is
we're
only
gonna
8
find
miles an
out.
hour. I'd be going on the highway, and I'd be.
And?
It can't even stand grass.
Neither can I, and I could made it here.
You've never touched grass before?
No,
What?
I'm a super indoor kid.
Oh my gosh!
Does
Kid?
does
So you're still a kid. You're still a kid.
I like
Yes,
him.
that's
I like
exactly
him.
what I was
thinking. Does what is Blackest?
All right, Benji.
Just move
I
on.
love this kid. Is there anything you want to plug that's coming up? I mean,
Not anything I can talk about.
no. Ooh.
I want to come back here this.
So I'm just saying.
Secret, Mitchell.
Yeah. Well, you got
Oh.
Hellfest July 4th and 5th.
Nice.
Is this?
When's this come out?
2 weeks.
Oh, okay. We have
This-
it. Your Spent Cold has a show with Tsunami next Monday, so I
Wait,
guess.
this?
Are you playing
This
Your Spent
video?
Cold too? Again? Mm-hmm. Okay.
And then
The show was a week ago. How was it?
yeah, it was awesome. Had a blast.
Hell yeah.
Shout out Tsunami.
It rules.
Shout out North Jersey. Actually, that's really all I have
Nice,
going on
dude.
right now.
Do you want to get into the homework segment?
Homework.
Do you like homework?
Boo.
I mean, I
Blink
not,
twice for no.
No, no,
I like them.
no,
right.
no.
What are you doing?
We're
I
gonna
hate
have to-
reading.
Boost
they're
still
gonna
on
have
there?
to-
Nah.
They're gonna have to do this one.
Down with homework, dude. I want to get that
I don't
tattoo.
like
Let
those
them.
homework.
Up with mini skirts.
Up with.
No, I'm saying let him ask the question, the homework stuff.
He's perfectly
Oh.
fine.
No, we're just gonna do reviews.
Can I include into this?
You can do whatever you want. You get carte blanche.
No, because we can't go much longer with you.
Oh yeah. Every week, Tom, Mike, and I assign each other a piece of music and a piece of comedy to listen to and report on for the following week. We always ask our guests to take part. Last week we had Evan Zook from Drowse and Bren King from Chemical Fix in. And so let's get into what they brought us. Tom, you want to take it away from there? What's wrong?
No, nothing.
What?
I'm great.
What's wrong?
Nothing. Nothing is wrong.
Did I see someone's
with,
name wrong? or
with
what?
me?
Did I fart?
You
What
said
is that?
instead of from, you said form, and you said
Oh, they give you
And you
stuff
said-
to do. They give you
Yeah,
stuff
yeah,
to
yeah,
check.
yeah,
Oh, I have.
and you said
Okay.
what's
Okay.
getting
Good,
into
good,
what?
good.
It'll be fine.
I don't do anything but work. So
Bren brought us a band called Spell.
Spell runner.
yeah.
I thought that was Evan.
No,
Who brought us Spell?
Evan did.
Okay, so Evan brought us a band called Spell, and the album's called Seasons in the Sun. My review is quick. It's country music if the country is Transylvania. All of Tom's boys love ooky spooky music.
Pretty much summed it up. Yeah.
This is what's playing at the house you go trick or treating at, and they answer the door smoking cigarettes. 3 out of 10. It was fine, but yeah.
So
Go ahead.
you listened to the Black Heart Procession back in the day, right?
Yeah.
So picture like that vibe, but
I
like
listened to this.
way more like
It
honky
was
tonk.
fucking awesome.
I liked it a lot.
I liked it a lot. You're outnumbered, bro.
Hey, fair enough.
I was actually I'm gonna look at.
You know that meme of the guy with all the swords pointed at him? You're that guy.
No, he's right because Spell Runner was one of them. Oh, that was.
That's
Yeah.
Brent.
Oh, okay.
Bren's assignment.
Yeah. We'll
Spell.
go get into Spell.
Spell, Seasons in the Sun. From the outset of the first song, I knew this was such a Evan recommendation. Kind of handsome family vibes, especially with the girl singer, but more scary and creepy. The song that the girl takes the lead on are fucking fantastic. And this is weird like that, a weird, like, kind of avant-garde artist. Like, remember that British dude that Tyler Mullen gave us, whose name I can't remember?
Yes, I don't remember his name, but I know what you're talking about.
It's strange, something like that. I would never seek this out myself, but it's kind of cool. Much better than Tyler's. 6 out of 10. I thought it was really fun. I thought it was
What everybody
really
else think?
cool.
Anybody else listen to this?
Spell.
I said it's like it reminded me of like those old Black Heart Procession records, just with more of like a country vibe to it.
Yeah.
Which I'm not like a huge country guy, but like I like when it's
Same.
intertwined with cool things,
Yeah.
and this worked.
It's like black metal. I don't like black metal on its own, but when it's intertwined with other things, I'm like, all right, cool.
Yeah, I thought it was really good.
He also brought us the Man Beast demo. I just wrote some simply gnarly punk rock, and I like it, but for such a short song, that intro goes a bit long. Still downloaded all their other jams off of Bandcamp. 6.5 out of 10 on that one. It was pretty decent. I liked it.
This band is great. I'm biased. They're out of Allentown. They're not. Drowse played their last show. They were really good.
Nice.
And they have 4 releases on Bandcamp. So
Yeah, I downloaded
listen to
all of
them.
them.
I have to check it out. I didn't check that out.
It cost me
but
like
I will.
$8 to download all of them.
Oh.
I was like, all right, whatever.
I didn't know they were from, well, not around here, but close enough. I didn't know they were from Allentown.
It's like 2 hours from here, I think.
Hour and a half.
Yeah. What did Bren bring?
Spell Runner.
This was
Who brought Touch of Moray? Or no,
Touche Amore?
no, Tame Impala. Who brought that?
Oh,
I
that
did.
was Brendan.
No, I did.
Oh, you did?
Okay. Spell Runner. I could have sworn that was Evan Zuck. But Spell Runner, always on the cool. Angry punk rock with surfing guitars? Yes, please. Angry Surfing is totally badass. Burn Rate is the best track. This
Yep.
review by Dennis McGonigal, 9 out of 10. I fucking loved it.
yeah.
It was
that
fast, angry, and it kind of had that weird, like, surf guitar, not like,
Spooky Surf.
not style, but like,
The tone.
I guess the pedal or guitar tone, you would say?
That would be a chorus
It was
pedal.
a very interesting mix of what they're.
Yeah.
It was cool. I got out of that what you're saying, and then again the D beat influence of
Yeah.
like from Ashes Rise.
Such a great mix.
Yeah.
Mikey did that shit with his guitar too.
As someone with a Slurms McKenzie tattoo, I feel like this is the shit he listens to when he wants to get like crazy. Like if he's like going for like big gains in the gym, this is the record he listens to.
Yeah.
That's
Shame
actu-
he's dead.
It's a record that I've listened to a few times. I liked it so much I listened to it more. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I enjoyed that one quite a bit.
Yeah. It should come as no surprise that they fit on a show bill with Fixation. Chemical Fix too, to be honest. I'm not over the moon with interludes on records anymore. It just kind of seems like a space filler that 99% of the time guitar players write on the spot in the studio. That said, this record is great. Biased/unbiased opinion, Drowse's Arabian Nights cover was 2 times as good as theirs, but their guitar player nailed it. I did hear a part or so that I wasn't crazy about, like they left a chunk of the second verse off. I didn't like the drums picking up into double time, but this is neither here nor there. I love what the guitar player does. That person is the shining star of the band to me. I'll continue listening to their recorded output and probably go see them again. 7.5 out of 10.
You say Arabian Nights, I keep thinking of the song from Aladdin.
That's what I thought he was talking about.
An Arabian Nights.
Nah, Susie and the Banshees.
Song goes.
That song is pretty fucking gnarly. Now, Mike Murrow brought me Ancient Death, Ego Dissolution. This is going to sound weird, but this reminds me of the black metal version of the first Buried Alive LP. If you listen to the riffing, like this, not like the, but the actual riffing of this, it has the same tone, sound, and feel of the very first Buried Alive LP. If you just add in black metal elements to it.
You got black metal from this?
I did hear
I
a
got
twinge of
straight
black
up
metal
ordered
too.
death metal.
I'm not. Yeah, it's just like,
Little seasoning.
but
of
it had like the Poison Seeds riff, just like the like stuff in
like
it.
somebody in the band listens to black metal. That's how much I
Yes.
heard.
Oh, I thought it sounded like to me someone in that band like really loves the band Death.
It's true too.
Well, yeah, that's what I got. It's just like spooky, spacey death metal.
Right,
But,
like how when Death does that. To me, it was just like I loved it because I also loved.
I did
Death,
too.
so- and the artwork was awesome.
Or that's my first
I just
line.
put,
Album art slaps.
This is, yeah, like I said, this is going to sound weird. This reminds me of the black metal version of the first Buried Alive LP with occasional goth girl singing. Why is this good? I don't know. I don't know why I like it, but I really do because it has a lot of the parts of metal that I don't care for. Some meatly stuff, I'm normally not into that. When you mix harsh singing and clean singing, I'm normally not a huge fan, but this, it came off, it was done well. And just like, even though there's parts of it that I'm like, this is normally something I go for, but they did it really well. And the way they did it made it so I was like, I can't deny that this is good.
Our reviews are almost the same.
I gave it a 7.
Album art slaps. Guitar.
does.
The guitar player isn't afraid to fuck around and find out, and shreds
Yeah.
and wanks a tasteful amount. The song "Breathe," they snuck in that girl doing clean vocals. I really like when clean singing is snuck in as kind of a surprise in heavy music. I'm not normally a fan of clean singing and heavy music, especially at the forefront. I didn't expect 8 songs to be so long. Oh well. They even have a couple riffs that sound like they've listened to black metal before. 6 out of 10.
How long was it?
35 minutes.
Wow, that's long.
It didn't feel that long.
That's what I'm saying.
for a metal release, so that's...
Well, that's how I knew
Sure.
I was digging it more than I wasn't. Because
Yeah.
when I first heard it, I'm like, oh, this is a really long record for compared to like what my like tolerance meter goes for.
Yeah.
With music like this, especially when it's all that, like you said, it's like all parts of death metal I don't normally like
Glom onto
reach
it,
for.
Yeah.
And it all still held my attention and made me enjoy it for the entirety of the record. So I'm like, I gotta bring this to the table and see if you guys think the same way.
Where are they from?
I know nothing about them other than
That's some of the best parts about
How'd you find that out?
this.
somebody posted it and like the artwork was just like, oh, this
Album
is
art's
something
cool, man.
I saw the album art, I'm like, this is something I'm gonna love. And it totally wasn't what I was expecting. Like it was still death metal, it just wasn't the death metal that I thought was coming
Right,
my
right,
way.
right.
Gotcha. Got it later.
But Tommy brought me a record I was very familiar with. Last Days of Humanity Hymns. It has a longer title, but I can't pronounce half those words. Y'all know what I'm about. If you ain't skanking to the acute palatable hemorrhage, then you stink. That song has the hardest skank beat ever. I love how these dudes try to make the grossest jams ever, but still have really good production. It's an 8 out of 10 record for me. I fucking love this band. A lot of people don't like the toilet bowl vocals and stuff like that,
I do.
but this band rules.
When it works, man.
They're the best. They're one of the best of that genre. I gave it an 8.
Which one was this? Because I don't
Last
think
Days
I
of
checked.
Humanity.
Oh, there it is. All right. I'll have to check that out then.
Yeah. It's got the whole vocals, but it musically it's just redonkulous. Mike, did you listen to it?
Yeah, my review was literally just, you know what I'm about. You stole it.
I own multiple shirts.
I fuck with tons of bands that sound like this, but this band has way better production value,
Yeah.
and that's just bonus points.
I think it's funny when bands try to let's make our sound the most aggressive, most abrasive, just gross, and just anti-music sound we can
And
possibly do.
and sometimes that works in your favor too. Sometimes the shitty recording quality,
But this band actually goes in
real studios.
we're actually going to have a good recording on it.
Here's what you're saying. This might be a hot take, but the difference to me between death metal and deathcore is really just the recordings.
Sometimes
For the most part, I mean, like the riffs.
Sometimes he's right. Deathcore has way better production, whereas
Not saying it's
I wouldn't
good,
even say better, but I would say polished.
yes,
but that's what makes death metal so good. Is it's not so polished. It
Yes.
sounds like it's recorded in a cave or.
yeah,
But
Yeah.
if you take a lot of those records and then give them the Will Putney sound,
Yes.
it's not going to sound that much different than like someone's
It's
favorite
true.
metal deathcore, whatever.
yeah,
Okay,
band.
I'm back. It's true.
yeah. You also brought me Tame Impala's The Slow Rush.
Hell yeah.
You gave me the preface or prerequisite of taking edible before you listen to this. And so I will say that I did not do that just strictly because I am out of edibles.
just raw dogged it.
I raw dogged it. I listened to it twice. It's just so, I wanted to make sure I got every nuance I could. Tame Impala, The Slow Rush. This is car commercial music. I can see McConaughey.
I think it really is too.
I can see McConaughey going down Route 66. No one else is on the road. Talk about
He's barefoot for some reason.
when I drive this car, blah blah blah. Car commercial music, inoffensive.
I thought he was in the room.
Inoffensive, but
What a get.
I'm kind of good on this. It's not for me. It's I listened to it all the way through twice, but I was just this isn't. I'm not into this. I gave it a 3. It's still well done and but it just doesn't scratch any itches for me. I want to know how you actually tame an Impala though. That's a pretty impressive feat. They're a wild beast, dude. Horns. But yeah, it sounds like car commercial.
Is this their popular album or his
It's the
popular
newest,
album?
newest one for sure.
I don't. Yeah, it's just
It's
it
not
sounds
the one
like,
with the sands on it,
No,
like the doorway.
No.
no, that's Currents. No, yes, it is.
Is it? Yeah.
It's red. Yeah.
Then I have checked it out. It's pretty good.
Yeah, it's just.
I like the Rihanna cover of that she did for them.
She covered their song.
Oh, word? Mm-hmm.
And she really didn't change it.
Nah, she pretty
Nice.
much, yeah.
I'm pretty sure she had them record it with them, with
for
her.
them.
Makes sense.
Go for
And
them,
it sounds really. The original song's good too, but she actually, I think, makes it sound better.
She definitely, yeah.
Who doesn't love some Rihanna, dude? But that's what do you
Guilty.
What did I bring you, buddy? Or you and Mike? I'm sorry.
Did you listen to it, Mike?
Tame Impala? Yeah. It's good.
Great review, Mike.
Excellent. Well,
It's
surgical.
it's background music for me.
It is.
As someone who really likes M83 and groups like that, I always felt like this band would have hit harder for me, and they just don't.
They never did until the Currents record for me, because they've been around for a long time,
Yeah.
and they came up with the M83.
Yeah, I've been hearing this.
Did they really?
For a while.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why I know the name so well. Then,
They've-
besides the Rihanna stuff, but
Yeah, they've been around for.
I don't know shit about them. I know the name.
M83's awesome.
You gave all of us 2 comedy specials, 2 Don't Tell specials, available for
I didn't get to these. I'm sorry.
available for free on YouTube. Well, I'll start with Derek Poston. His is titled "How to End Racism," and I just quoted a couple jokes simply, so I'm going to utilize the bleep button. He said, "What terrorist has dimples, my?" He made his wife wait an extra 2 months to propose. I was walking around with that ring in my pocket for 2 months like Frodo Baggins. And yeah, I gave it a 6 out of 10. I think he's so fucking funny.
Yeah.
I love what he does.
I like the how to solve racism joke. He's like, yeah, like when a guy's like, coming down the street and like he crosses the street,
I cross with him.
and I beat the shit out of him so he doesn't feel racist.
I didn't check it out, but I did listen to him on the Joe Rogan podcast.
The most recent one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
He did a lot of see, Joe loves to do this thing where he'll have a hilarious comic who usually just moved to Austin, usually just became a regular at the mothership, and they will do a lot of listening.
Yeah.
Yeah, he talks at them.
He rants. Yeah, he rants about politics and stuff.
He rants about the same 6 things.
It is funny. It's like, oh, you're a comedian. How do you feel about aliens? You're like, what?
He doesn't even do that anymore.
Or
he's
how do you
like,
feel about COVID restrictions in
I'm so
2025?
Yo, that one I'm just like, all right.
It's like, guys, I'm so glad we moved to Austin. If it wasn't for Ron White grabbing me by the shoulders and saying, we got to do this no matter what.
Oh, he really pushed it on that one too.
Yeah.
On that episode.
I think he's told that story 50 times. Anyway.
What is the other one I brought you?
The other Don't Tell special you brought me was Ruby Setnick, Science is Magic. My first note, her lisp. Love it. Her vest choice, I wanted to look like a fly fisherman. It's great. I would jerk off into the right fireplace. All adults were drunk in my house, and my friend had a panic attack. And so I said, what? Have you never seen The Nighttime, you dumb bitch? And I would love to see more output by her. This one was a 7. I thought it was so good.
She's a good follow on Instagram. She posts a lot of her stuff on like clips and stuff, and it's a lot of really good stuff. So everybody should check that out. Before we get into the next segment, everybody, this podcast is brought to you by Pickles Premium Pickles, Parlay Philly, and Stuck Again Vinyl. Also, if you really want to support this podcast, patreon.com/IRRANDILL. $3 a month gets you an extra episode a week and a bunch of other goofball stuff. Now, we do this segment, and don't puff up your friends. Just tell us what you've been listening to lately so we can check it out and report back on it next week.
Oh, is this the assignment?
Yeah. What have you been listening to, dude? You just,
Me, I can pull it up. Really, if you want me to be
just give us-
honest, I've
give us,
really
like-
only been listening to Radiohead, Portishead.
well, give us 2 records to listen to.
Well, you know Portishead.
You're released. It doesn't matter because other people listen to this. So just
okay.
give us 2 records to listen
All right,
to.
I'll give it. I'm not
This
getting
could be
it here,
someone's
right?
first episode.
Yeah.
Okay.
Does anyone have the internet working for them?
No, I do not.
Yeah.
Well, then the
we're in-
Portishead self-titled.
Solid choice.
Um,
Which Radiohead have you been jamming?
Kid A. But you know what? I don't want anyone to hear that one. You know what? If I was to suggest a Radiohead record, it would be OK Computer.
Yeah. Yeah. Kid A is pretty awesome, though.
It is, but I think if you've never listened to Radiohead and you went in on Kid A, you'd be like, what the
Yeah.
You see,
That's like the dividing line of Radiohead.
Which I love it. I love
I do
every
too.
But you got to work your way into it. And I think OK Computer's a great middle ground for like the European rock they were doing. And then like you could tell that this isn't that big of a departure when they started doing Kid A, you know what I mean? Because they started OK Computer has a lot of those like DJ Shadow influences, the hip hop stuff. They like doing the scratching on the guitars and
you see, In Rainbows was pushed on me, and I hated that.
it's a good record. I didn't like it at first either, but if you just like good, if you like '90s music, I think it's one of the better records of the '90s.
I think the 90s
I
might
agree.
be the best decade of music.
I think, and if people
far as
stop going
guitars
into
go.
like them thinking how I get it, they're like kind of like fishy. I don't like fish, but you know, you hear the name and you're like, fuck
Yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah.
Like
You
their
got a
fan base is
preconceived
the
notion,
worst.
yeah.
It
Yeah.
makes it sound like they're incredible. Radiohead's one of those bands where I'm like, because they are incredible, and OK Computer, if you just take that out of your head and just listen to it, just to hear the music and not Radiohead, it will. I think more people would be like, oh, this is great.
Okay.
No Surprises is one of the greatest songs I've ever written.
And it's definitely a start. It's it's the '90s, so they structured the records back then to actually
forget-
work together, song for song.
All killer, no
Yeah,
filler.
you
I
just
forget
put it
that how
on and
old
let it go.
Radiohead is.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
All the time.
93.
I was a teenager when that band.
Yo,
so-
but you don't think about this because I was thinking about this that like Rage Against the Machine and Nirvana were bands at the same time and like playing the same type of shows. You know what I mean? Like, I never realized like Smashing Pumpkins and Nirvana were and
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and they were.
I mean
wearing
they
each other's
were,
shirts
but I
and
guess I
stuff.
always just thought like Smashing Pumpkins in my head were just bigger after Nirvana. Like
Yeah, you think it'd be like the generation after, but they were.
then you hear when they
Same
were
time.
like, oh no, it was 94, and you're like, wow, these bands were really more lumped in together than I remember.
Or like the Melvins was around the same time as Soundgarden.
Yeah.
So like that, you're just like, that's.
There
They
you
were
go.
all-
Well, people should check out Soundgarden.
People should check out all those bands, honestly.
Yeah, they should. But I would even say Bad Motorfinger.
It's my
Check
favorite.
that out.
It's my favorite one.
Such a good record. Mike, what do you got?
Do you want?
Yes.
All right, then I have an LP and I have a demo for you.
Hit me.
The band we just played with on Saturday, Prisoner.
Okay.
They have a LP from last year called Putrid, Obsolete.
Putrid. Obsolete. Okay.
I knew nothing about this band going into Saturday's show, and I'm a new fan, big time, from their live show, but the record's really fucking good.
I'm not a
also.
fan of Prisoners, though. That's not cool. I'm sorry. What else you got, bud?
Demo is a band called Wits End.
Oh, I just heard about this demo.
It's a brand new demo, 2025,
Okay.
and it's just called Demo 1.
Classic. Who names demos? Tommy, what you got for me this week?
I also have 2 albums for you.
Okay.
I'm gonna stick with some toilet bowl stuff because
Ooh.
I've been on a kick lately.
Hey, man. We all been there.
I think the album is called Sulfuric Cautery. And the band is Suffocating Feats of Dehumanization.
So, my
Exactly.
spelling.
I don't get
That's
this.
it's a crazy name.
It is.
Feats of dehumaniz. I'm pretty good at spelling, dude.
Not very good at categorizing who assigned what's
That's true,
homework, though,
too.
huh?
Though I do think I'm right in that the one we did today. What's the name of the album?
Sulfuric Cautery.
Happens to all of us.
And I have another record for you. The band just kind of fell into my algorithm, and I listened to a song, and I was like, that was cool. I listened to more, I was like, that was also cool. The band is called Secret Cutter.
Oh, I'm a huge fan.
Oh, I've heard that name.
It's a
They're
good,
good.
name.
It is a cool name, right? And the album is just 3 backslashes.
Yeah.
So I guess it's 3, but it's ///.
Yeah.
What type of music is that? I mean, I can take a guess. but-
Really fast, like punk hardcore.
Oh, okay.
Pissed off.
Good.
Yeah.
Can I throw another one on there?
Absolutely.
Ankle Biter.
Great name.
They're not a band anymore, but they're
Doesn't matter.
awesome.
Do you know the name of any of their albums?
No, I
Nice.
just found them out.
We'll figure.
Apparently, they opened up to Have Heart reunions at
In
up there
Boston.
in Boston. But I
Oh,
just
Worcester.
found out about them through Spotify. And I love it.
I have just one thing for you. It is a band that I am loosely friends with, but we Cancer has had a chance to play with them numerous times. It's a band called Inoculation, and they have a brand new album called Actuality, and that's all I have for you this week. It's a 2025 release. If you're a fan of anything heavy, you should really enjoy this. But that's what I got this week. Once again, Mitchell, thank you very much for
Thanks.
coming through. Benji,
Thank you for working with me, guys.
Benji, thanks for coming, brother. Do you got anything to promote or plug?
I don't get this.
Nice.
What you been up to, dude?
Nothing much.
Dennis, no.
No?
We got,
Okay.
it's about to be his bedtime.
It's
all
a
right?
school night. All right.
Yeah, it's in my bedtime 9:30.
Whoa, boy.
Cutting it close.
Better haul ass back to Pennsylvania. But
No.
we thank Mitchell and Benji for coming and hanging out with us. We will see everybody next week. Check out Blackest on. We will have links to all their stuff in the descriptions for this episode. We will see everybody next week.
1, 2, 3, 4 아 그림자가 선배 맘에 텅텅